ahead about that until after the game, at least. But talking about this game, coming off of a rough loss that you guys had last week at Osage, what were your thoughts about that game?
Let's start with the positives. Positives were I thought our defense and how we played in previous weeks with giving up a lot of points was a lot better. And I thought offensively we put our defense in a lot of bad situations, and we really couldn't help them out and get them off the field. And that was on us offensively. That's not like us. You don't go from averaging 45.2 points a game to being goose egged, and we ran into a bad night, where things just weren't going our way. We couldn't get things figured out offensively. But the positive was going into that third quarter, even mid third quarter, it was still 7-0, and that was very positive, I thought, as to where we've been in weeks past. So, and you're playing against a good team that runs the ball tough, runs the ball downhill. We gave up one big explosive play on the third play of the game. And then after that, we really settled in and played really good defense. So very positive there. Then obviously the negative piece is we've got to be better and more explosive on offense. And so we've gone back to the basics again this week. Make sure pass protection was a major problem for us last week. And it was all just because of how we were calling our pass pro. So for us, that was a point of emphasis this week. And hopefully it'll be better tonight.
And kind of focusing on the defense to start off with, the run defense specifically looked really good. Xavier Stinson had 17 tackles on the night. Kind of talk about his performance on the defensive side of things.
Man, I absolutely love that kid. I mean, his attitude and his effort is everything you want as a football coach, any coach. I mean, honestly, just his approach to life is something that you have to respect. And his work ethic is next to none. I said that earlier today. He's been, tweeting out some stuff for colleges and stuff like that. And I said, you're going to get a great character kid and you're going to get a great teammate. And that's what you get in him. He gives you everything he has, every single play, and I mean, he's talking to me on the sideline. What can I do? What can I do to help us be better? And I'm like, kid, man, it's all of us. It's collective, but he played his butt off last week and it's not, you can't ask any more of the kid. And he wants to win so darn bad and he wants to be successful and he wants his team to be successful. So that's why you see the numbers that he's putting up right now, defensively, especially.
Now, I mean, we talk about success, and the defense was pretty strong last game, but in previous weeks it had been struggling. What have you guys been doing to make sure that you kind of go back to the performance that we saw last week rather than reverting to what you guys had been doing leading up to that?
Well, I believe we talked about this last week is, with the, the amount of kids that we play, we're trying to rotate more kids in on defense so that we're not just playing just 11. We're trying to play 16, 17, 18 kids so we can get our bigs some breaks, here and there. And that's one of the things that we have to be prepared for during the course and our preparation of the week is we have to be able to make those in-game adjustments that we normally would make during the game. We have to already have those in our mind thinking what we might go to next, because when everybody turns around from defense and goes back to offense, there's no chance to make those adjustments. So it's either a timeout or it's halftime. Like I said last week, you got to get those things done. So for us, being able to have that, kind of ahead of time and making sure we're practicing different looks, thought we did a really good job of jumping in and out of those adjustments last week. And you could tell that it was messing up some of the blocking schemes from Osage. So that's something that we prepared for this week as well, because we're going to face another team that can run the football right downhill at you when they want to.
And going back to last game, I might be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure the first play was 8 yards, second play 4 yards, third play was the big touchdown. All three were on the ground. Did you guys go ahead and switch up into those kind of adjustments that you were talking about?
Yeah, right away. And one of the simple adjustments was just how we were playing the weak side of the defense, where Aiden Ski's at over there. And we made sure to kind of help him out a little bit, because when he was forcing the edge, there was no backer that was able to scrape to that weak side ISO play that they were running. And that was something they were taking advantage of. And when we started putting into our base look, we're putting two backers in the box. Now, all of a sudden, now you got a backer filling that spot and just giving them different looks to where they couldn't pick one side to run to all night long. And then what you want is obviously you want them to run back to their strength, because that's where the strength of our defense is too. So making that adjustment early on, it really, negated all of those big plays until later into the second half.
Yeah, and well, taking a look now at this week, what do you think is going to be the focus on the defensive side of the ball?
Man, it's hard to narrow it down. They have so many athletes. It's one of those things where you look across and you watch the film and they really athletically, I mean, from top to bottom, bottom to top, they really they mimic our guys, where they just have big play capability across the board. It's like, you can't just focus on Chase Morris. You can't just focus on Austin Evans at quarterback. You have to be able to make sure that your coverages are going to be able to cover all 4 wide receivers and sometimes 5 when they're in empty. And not to mention that the Brady Dapkus kid is just a sophomore is electric. And so we know that we have our hands full defensively, and we have to make sure that we put ourselves in position to rally to the football and not give up those big explosive plays early and not often whatsoever throughout the course of the night.
Yeah, and I mean, taking a look at, the quarterback running back duo, have we really seen an opponent that has had such a good tandem in the backfield before this season?
No, to be honest with you, I told our guys this week, I think that this is not taken away from anybody we played by any means, and not being disrespectful when I say this. It's just the reality of the situation of this is the most athletic offense from top to bottom. Like I said, I mean, it really is. I mean, there's not a skilled position player on their offense that can't make a big play at any time. They can't take it the distance, and so they're all fast. They're all physical. They do a great job. To be honest with you, is when you try to bring pressure, Austin Evans does a great job of really scrambling out of it, and they probably do the best job I've seen in a long time of doing a scramble drill. The wide receivers just seem to feel really comfortable with him back there, and they kind of know where he's going, and they know where to get to and to get open on the field. And so that's something we've tried our best to simulate, something you don't really think about, to be honest with you, as a coach, from what we've seen the last 2 weeks in such a run-heavy offensive scheme out of Osage and out of Eldon. Now, all of a sudden, our back end is going to have to be really sharp, and we're going to have to make sure that we're not sucking up and biting down on the mesh routes, and making sure that we have our deep coverage in place as well.
Yeah, and kind of looking at, I was just talking about, their running back Brady Dapkus. He also is pretty good in the receiving game as well. He's got 17 receptions for over 250 yards on the season. Out of the backfield, how do you defend against that kind of, him getting the targets in the air? Obviously, Chase Morris is another big target, but Brady Dapkus out the backfield.
It's tough. It's one of those things where, you have to make sure with your outside backers that the play action doesn't suck you in too tight, because they really like to get him the ball, straight out of the backfield right now. And Austin does a great job of just getting him the football and letting him go to work. And so we have to make sure to make him and force him back to the middle of our defense where all the help is. And that's something we've really focused on this week, is not giving Brady the edge and making him have to run in between the tackles as much as we can tonight.
Now, taking a look at kind of the offense and kind of switching tones a little bit, what's going to be the big thing that you guys are working on focusing on for this game against Southern Boone? Obviously, you can talk about, improvements from last game, but it's a different team than the one that you faced last week. So what's going to be something that you're going to try to exploit or something like that?
Big thing for us is pass pro. Like I mentioned earlier in our conversation, is we have to make sure that our quarterback is protected at all times, even on his blind side. And so we've got a few wrinkles in this week that I think are really going to help. And it's something that we can use, moving forward through the rest of our season. So we knew at some point we were going to need this. We should have been practicing it earlier, and now we have it implemented. So now we just have to make sure that we're holding our ground up front. And, they got a big guy over there, Dylan Niles, number 76. He's 6'6", 6'7". His wingspan's ginormous. He's going to be a problem to block. So we have to make sure that we're getting help on him as well.
Yeah, and you talk about, pass protection and whatnot. Southern Boone, they only have 1 sack on the season recorded. Has that been just a case of the other teams have been really good at pass protecting? Maybe they're not coming out in the aggressive blitzing sets, or what do you think has been the reason that they haven't been getting the pressure, or at least the numbers in the box score?
I think they've seen a lot more of run dominant teams, and teams that are doing a lot more RPOs than they are, even not even just quick game, but middle to deep range balls. And, that's kind of where we make a living right now, is not only with our quick game, but having the ability to be able to have that mid range and that deep range ability, with our quarterback's arm strength and our route running capabilities. So, that proposes a problem if you're trying to hold on to the ball for 3-4 seconds, and so maybe that's why they haven't had those sacks. So we have to make sure that we don't allow those tonight either. We don't want this to be the night where they start racking that number up, on us. So we've made sure that we're going to be in the best position we can to stop that. And, hopefully, it's sometimes things go your way and sometimes they don't. And nothing went our way last week. So we're hoping for a better turn of events tonight.
And again, looking back at last week, one of the players that I was a bit interested in was Colton Nichols' performance. He got a bunch of receptions, but he wasn't able to break away from a bunch of tackles. Do you think that was just really good tackling last week by Osage, or is it something that, Colton Nichols has been focusing on and trying to break tackles a little more this week?
It's one of those things where they had a great game plan. Big 21 was about 6'5", and he would line up anytime Colton was in trips. He would line up over top of him to try to take away our bubble games and our quick game to him and try to make other guys make plays. And it's kind of one of those things where we've had the ability in earlier weeks to say, okay, if you want to try to take away one guy, then this is who we'll go to. We'll go to Zach Duray. We'll go to Isaac Stinson. We'll involve, Xavier Stinson in the past game. And we just were off, and when you have an off night, you're not in rhythm. And that's one of the big things that Braden and I have been talking about all week long is throwing the ball in rhythm. And he's done an excellent job of really adapting to that this week. I told him, I said, I don't want you to have to hold on to the football longer than you need to. Let's make sure our reads are clean, our progressions are clean, and we're getting the ball in and out of our hands. And so if we can do that tonight, we're going to have some success. And we need to get back to the end zone. I feel like if we can get back to that zone one time, break a big play, and really get rolling here, we can play with just about anybody when those things are going the right way for us.
And again, I keep bringing this up looking back to last week, but Isaac Stinson, he still had a pretty good game. You look back at the numbers, he had over 100 yards receiving. What allowed him to, while the offense, maybe it didn't perform to its top capabilities, he still looked pretty good. What allowed him to succeed against even such a tough defense?
Well, number one, he's a polished receiver at this point, as a junior, and he understands what his role is and what his abilities are. And so that's one of the things is he knows how to run great routes, how to stem his routes, and how to get open. And so when you're trying to focus on taking our explosive player away in Colton Nichols, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to possession you up, and we're going to try to take those shots both to Zach and to Isaac, And this week, we may not see X out as much on routes as we have in the past because he's going to be a part of that pass protection tonight. So all three of those guys are going to have to be able to make plays for us tonight. And, what you really want to do is our goal is always to get the defense focusing on Colton. Because once you can get them to focus on Colton, now all of a sudden it opens everything else up. And so this game will be no different. He has to get his touches early on because it really sets the tone for all of our play calls and what we have going on offensively once we get him involved in the game. Because now all that attention goes to number 7. And all of a sudden, you start forgetting about all those other guys that can run those routes and catch those balls and make those plays.
All right, and then one last question, and it has to do with the run game. So last game, it only 8 carries for Abe El-Fanish, and it was very limited yardage. Was that, again, just because they were getting through the offensive line, or is that something that is also going to be helped out this week?
Well, I'll be honest with you. The last 2 years now, we've had problems picking up Osage's blitzes. We really have, and it's caused problems. They'll put 7 in the box, and sometimes we only have 5 and 6 to block it. And so we try to cut that defense in half and try to get our numbers where they need to be. We early downs, we got behind the sticks, and now all of a sudden we felt the pressure to throw. I was telling my wife earlier this week, I think I set a record in my play calling over the last 11 years as a head coach and an offensive play caller, and we threw the ball 38 times the other night, and we didn't do it very efficiently. We were only 16 of 38, which is a 42% completion rate. And so we have to be better there. And we have to make sure, and that's what we talked about all week, is in the run game, even if we're getting 2 or 3, it's positive. It's not negative. It's not TFLs, and it's not big losses, because that seemed to be kind of the MO for us last week of not being able to get the run game going at all. Now all of a sudden you're putting all of the pressure on Braden Matheny to have to make every single throw, and that's rough, and that's not fair to him either. And so I've got to be better on early downs of making sure that we're getting positive yardage in the run game.
All right, well, I think that's enough about talking about last game, because we got another game coming up this one. It's got to be an exciting game. What's the excitement level is like for the last game on the road for the guys and for you as well?
It's one of those things where I honestly think last week we've done a really good job of handling the road all year long. I think we felt I know we felt really flat in pregame. I could feel us not have that normal energy that we have. And so this is a big one. Ever since I've been here in 5 years, this is a big game versus Southern Boone. We talk about all kind of rival games within our conference, within our non-con. It seems like I say so many of them, it's a rival game. It's a rival game. But if you have to pick one, this is probably the one. You could probably ask their community the same. It's one of those things where when Hallsville and Southern Boone match up, it's a big-time game. You want to talk about a big-time environment tonight? Wait till you see this crowd tonight. This place is going to be rocking. They're having a great season. We're having a really good season too, and there's going to be a lot of people filling these stands. So there's going to be a lot of hype and a lot of excitement behind these games. These kids just know each other way too well, and they play each other in every single sport. So it's one of those things where it's prideful. You know, you don't want to lose this football game.
All right, well, any final thoughts before we close up this pregame show?
You know, I'm going to give a shout out once again. I do it every week, and I'm going to continue to because our crowd has been amazing, and really our following has been great all year. And I just hope tonight, I think it's going to be the exact same. I've seen all kinds of stuff on social media, you know, from all of our parents and our community. This is going to be a big-time game. So thank you guys for all of your support you've given us week in and week out, to all you listeners that tune in every single week, and for you, Austin, for all this great coverage. I've heard nothing but positive things from all of our fans about your in-play game calling abilities. And so keep on listening, guys. One more week, hopefully, right now, Friday night, and then we can get back home and we can have a big game next week and have a big crowd. But this one right here, this is the most important. We need you guys to be loud and proud, and let's roll Tribe.
Yeah, well, thank you. And we've got a great game coming up here on the Show Me Sports Network. Once again, thank you to all the fans who are tuning in, because the game is coming up in just a few minutes. Stay tuned here on the Show Me Sports Network. That's going to do it for the pregame show. Once again, thank you so much, head coach Justin Conyers here on the Hallsville Indians pregame show. The game comes up after this.
For contact center software solutions. Their innovative communication solutions include utility interactive voice response software that allows for smart communication features that let your utility deliver superior customer service 24/7. They also provide other streamlined services like automatic call distribution, automated customer callback, reporting, and quality assurance. To find out more about how Centurion Cares can help your business, call them at 727-421-5300 or look them up online at centurioncares.com. Centurion Cares, innovative communication solutions.
There's no better way to celebrate a special event or show someone just how important they are to you than gifting them something handcrafted from Country with a Heart. Handmade in mid-Missouri, Country with a Heart specializes in hand-built woodworking projects for every occasion. Their design collection includes children's furniture, doll furniture, household items, holiday decor, outdoor decorations, custom projects, and everything in between. To view their full inventory of projects, visit countrywithaheart.com and find them on Facebook by joining the Country with a Heart group page.
On 42 receptions this year himself, averaging 130 yards a game.
Yes, they will. And, well, it's going to be a very interesting game right now. And, well, of course, Hallsville did end up losing a game last week, against Osage. It wasn't very good. They 0-23, but, again, those games happen. Sometimes things just don't work out, and I think that is exactly what ended up happening when it came down to what happened with Hallsville last week. So it'll be interesting to see how they retaliate against a team that's also a rival after a game that didn't go the way they wanted.
Yeah, that's sometimes how it goes in football. It's every other game you have to be able to push the other one behind you if it didn't go your way. And bouncing back's a part of this sport, and we're going to see if they're able to do that tonight.
Yeah, and, well, I'm excited for this game. Obviously, Southern Boone County, the other Show Me Sports Network. If you're trying to tune in to Southern Boone County's game, you can listen to Blake Gazaway, who's on the call on the main Show Me Sports Network. Just Show Me Sports Network. We're on Show Me Sports Network 1 here if you're listening online or through our app. If you're listening on the website, showmesportsnetwork.com, make sure to download the app, Show Me Sports Network. It's available on the Google Play Store. You can download it there, or on the Apple App Store as well. So whatever device you have, you can download that app if you want to take a listen to us in the car, if you're driving somewhere.
To carry, they're going to have to stop him somehow.
Yes, they will. And Brady Dapkus, the running back, 6'1", 180-pound sophomore. He is a beast in the backfield. And, well, we can already see him getting involved here. Austin Evans, the quarterback for the Eagles, he's lining up in the shotgun here. He takes the snap. He hands it off on yet again a jet sweep kind of from the right side. This time Hallsville is up on it. Did he get the first down? It's what they're deciding right now, figuring out the spot on this one. He was close, and they do move the chains as he's downed at the 47 on Hallsville's side of things. So it is a first down for Southern Boone as they move the chains.
Looked to be a little bit of a possible read option between Evans. Ultimately gave it to the read option, got the first down.
Yes, he did. And, well, Now Southern Boone heads back out there. They've got 5 receivers on this one, 4 on the right side, 1 on the left side. Getting ready for the snap, and that's going to be an encroachment penalty on Aiden Schodrowski. He tries to timeline right there, as I believe that was James Bassnett. If I might be wrong on that one. Couldn't quite see his number. I believe that was Bassnett.
Yeah, nice little option rollout. They had rolled Evans out toward the right sideline and had him on like an out route and then just broke 2 tackles.
And now getting set up for the 2-point conversion here. Or never mind, it looks like they will decide to go for the PAT. The PAT now, it's up, and it's good. So that makes it 7-0 after the PAT is good from Tally. And that is going to put the lead up for Southern Boone County. Well, Hallsville, they finally get their first shot on offense. Usually what has been considered their strength in the past. Again, as I mentioned in the pregame show, they had been averaging 45 points per game heading into the Osage game last week. Well, this week, not quite. I mean, last week wasn't quite that same offense. And I think we can all agree whenever we saw that game, it was not the same offense that we have witnessed in basically the entirety of this season. Even against Centralia, who they lost pretty big against, they still were able to put up 36 points against Centralia. So not bad from them. And we're going to have to see if Hallsville is able to kind of overcome the offensive woes that they had last game. But we're about to see their first offensive possession here as Southern Boone gets set to kick the ball away. And Hallsville set to return here. Abe El-Fanish and Dalvin Smith. They are set to return all the way on the back line for Hallsville. Also for Hallsville, Gabe Jenkins, the freshman. He's on the far left side to return as well. So now Southern Boone breaking their huddle. They're getting ready to kick this ball away. 9 minutes and 37 seconds to go here in the first quarter of a 7-0 ball game. Southern Boone just took the lead on the 17-yard touchdown completion. And here comes the kick. It's a little short, picked up and trying to make a move. He does make one, goes right side, can't go anywhere as Aiden Schodrowski is just going to get stuffed at the 35. And that is where they will start with the ball. Well, Hallsville and Braden Matheny, they head back out to take things into their own hands and try and take the lead here as they are down 7-0. Of course, I say take the lead because Hallsville does not attempt PATs. So if they get the ball, if they get a touchdown, of course, they will be trying to take the lead. Nonetheless, Braden Matheny with Abe El-Fanish behind him. 2 receivers on the left side, 1 on the right side. Here's the snap. He looks right side. Zach Jaray's got it pretty easily up the right sideline. Zach Jaray, he's going down the 20, the 10. He jumps over and he's in. Touchdown, Hallsville. Oh, my.
How do you like that as a response?
Wow. Zach Jaray, welcome to Southern Boone. It's 6-7 now. And barring the 2-point conversion, this game is going to be a Hallsville lead. Now, again, a 2-point conversion is not a given thing. So we'll have to see exactly what happens here. But wow, wow, wow. Zach Jaray takes that one right side. Not a great angle from the defensive backs on Southern Boone's side of things. But nonetheless, that's not to take anything away from what Jaray just did. He was fantastic on there. He had to high step over a diving tackler and got into the end zone. The 2-point conversion now. Matheny takes the snap. He looks right side. He lofts it, and that's going to be in there. Hallsville has the lead. And yet again, it is Zach Jaray who comes up big right there with that reception. And it is 8-7 now. Hallsville in the lead, and that is, I mean, what a way to start the game on offense.
Yeah, really. I mean, you can hear a pin drop in the stadium right now. There's not much better of a response you could ask for if you're Hallsville, with Jaray channeling his inner DJ Moore if you watched Thursday Night Football last night. Hit the curl route and go.
Yeah, and oh, man, that was a thing of beauty right there from Zach Jaray, who puts them up 8-7 now in the game. And, well, Hallsville, their offense has already scored more than they have last week, and I'm sure that they're excited to get that streak off their hands now. Now they don't got to worry about that. They can get back to just playing some football after a big play like that.
Yep, the monkey's off the back, and now you should be relaxed if you're the Hallsville offense and Like we said, we expected a shootout, and here we are. We got 15 points already, well, just a few minutes into the game.
Yeah, we do. And, well, this one could be a well, we've seen some shootouts before. We've seen some shootouts from both teams actually getting into the high-scoring affairs. And specifically, Hallsville's had a couple of them that have finished in those one-score games where both teams score over 40 points. So I'm not saying that's going to happen right here, but two quick scores, and Hallsville's ready to kick this one back away. Aiden Strodrowski, Zach Jure, Abel Finish, they all kind of rotate who kicks it off. And running up to kick this one, and it's off and away. Southern Boone to return. They let it bounce. Picked up, run right side. And now going to the right sideline and up to, call it the 50. Oh, never mind. He's still up and rumbling and gets all the way up to the Hallsville 43-yard line before going down on the return. Southern Boone. What a return. And again, some pretty good field position. Call it the 44 is where they'll put him down at. So that is where Southern Boone will start their second drive of the game. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns for both teams. The defense is going to take a look to step up here.
Yeah, this game might come down to who makes the first mistake on off. I mean, obviously, it's still very early in the first, but.
And the hard count here, and it does get him. I believe that was Tyson Perigo who jumped a little bit early for, no, that was Jake Crane that jumped a little bit early for Hallsville, and they're going to get their second encroachment penalty of the night already, and it puts them up to a 1st and 5 for Southern Boone, now at the 39 of Hallsville. Austin Evans takes the snap. He pitches it out left side, and running with this one is Dapkus, who's going to be tackled and thrown to the ground there. That was Xavier Stinson who comes up with the tackle, and it is call it a 3-yard gain on that one as he was taken down at the 36. All things considered, that's not a bad result.
No, obviously now you had a 1st and 5. It's going to be pretty hard to stop them in 4 downs for 5 yards, but they stopped them there, and only about 3-yard gain on toss.
Yeah, so now a 2nd and 2 coming up for Southern Boone. The Eagles, a pretty highly touted offense. They are averaging 46 points per game heading into this game. Here's the snap. It's handed off to Dapkus, right side. He's trying to cut up. He does. He breaks the tackle. He's up the right side. Brady Dapkus could be gone. He is. It's a touchdown for Southern Boone.
It's too easy right now for Brady Dapkus and that
man.
Southern Boone offense.
Brady Dapkus continuing to look good and really feasting on that Hallsville defense right now as he took that one all the way to the house. And wow, that's all I can say about these offenses right now. We are not even 4 minutes into the game, and already 3 touchdowns have been scored. It's now 13-8. Southern Boone leads. It looks like they're going to set up for 2 right now. 1 center, and the offensive line set up on the left side. I don't know if I've seen this before. Running right side, Austin Evans looks end zone, and it's tipped, and it's incomplete.
I think Southern Boone may have been just trying to catch them off guard, maybe because that's how they set up the first time with the PAT. So I was wondering if Hallsville just thought they were going to have that merge back into the PAT formation. They never did. Try to catch them sleeping. Didn't work.
Yeah, and a little bit of an interesting formation that we saw right there. So basically there was the center who snapped the ball, 2 receivers on the right side, and technically I think it was 5 receivers on the left side. But they kind of lined up like an offensive line. I'm not actually sure how that works. They lined up like an offensive line on the left side with a quarterback, but they didn't have the ball. The ball was at the center of the field.
It reminds you of that Colts play a few years ago against the Patriots where they lined up for that fake punt, and they just had the center and the punter, and he just kind of took the snap against 2 D linemen. That's kind of what that looked like.
It reminded me again of Ezekiel Elliott
that
as the
too,
center.
yeah.
I think it was last year for the Dallas Cowboys. Or maybe it was 2 years ago. I'm not entirely sure where. A very interesting play call nonetheless. But that time, not a sack like the Cowboys game was. But nonetheless, it did result in 0 points on the 2-point conversion attempt. But the Eagles still lead. It's 13-8 now. And Southern Boone to kick away. You know, all things considered, after 2 touchdowns to 1, it's only a 5-point game. Well, it could be a lot worse.
Yep, like, this is what we've expected, and they're not disappointing. We got fireworks so far here.
Yeah, no disappointments at all so far. 3 drives, 3 touchdowns for the teams, and the kick is away. Bounces at the 25. It's picked up and kind of just going head first into that one to try and push forward for as much yardage as he could get. That was Abel Finish as he goes down at, they're going to call him down at the 32-yard line. So not a bad gain as he picked it up at the 25. It kind of just bulldozed ahead all the way up to the 32.
Yeah, both teams just not. It's not your typical kickoff where you see it booted toward the end zone, just about 30 yards up the field, but allows for returns, makes it more interesting and more fun.
Yeah, it does. So, nonetheless, Hallsville getting set back out here. They are down 5 with 8.5 minutes to go. Still in the first quarter. On the far left sideline, on the far left, it's Isaac Stinson lined up on his inside. It's Xavier Stinson. Far right side, it's Zach Jure. And a little bit of motion from Stinson. Here comes the handoff, and Ale Finish takes this one up the right side. He's going to get a nice little 7-yard carry on that one. Abel Finish taking that one right side. Some good blocking from Xavier Stinson, who had motioned from the backfield up to be kind of that tight end position and put up a great block to open up a gap for them.
Yeah, it's a nice, simple inside zone. Get him close. Now you got second and short.
Yes, you do. So 2nd and 3 coming up for Hallsville. Braden Matheny had that one pass that ended up being the touchdown. He throws here. Zach Jure, right sideline, again kind of like ended that first drive in the touchdown. But this time he does not go yard for the touchdown. It is still a first down nonetheless as he goes out at the 47-yard line. Still on Hallsville's side of things, but they are inching closer to that midfield line.
Yeah, nice little crow route again like we saw on the first play touchdown, obviously. Didn't have that result for this play, but it's clicking early between Jure and Matheny.
Yes, it is. Well, Hallsville getting set back out here. Braden Matheny, the only one in the backfield now. Colton Nichols motions to the left. Looking over to him for the screen pass. Xavier Stinson coming out. He puts down a good block. Colton Nichols trying to push it upfield. He gets, call it a yard on that one as he's down at the 48-yard line. So Hallsville now stepping up here. It's a 3rd and 9. Sorry, a 2nd and 9. Not 3rd and 9. 2nd and 9 coming up for Hallsville here. Colton Nichols, one of the most explosive players on this team. One of the players that we talked about in the pregame show with Coach Conyers. And, well, no explosion there, but it's bound to happen at some point. Here comes the snap. Braden Matheny, he drops back. He's getting pressured. He tries to evade, but cannot. He goes down for a sack at the 39-yard line. And I believe that was Hayden Ensley who came around from the edge to get the sack there. Oh, man. That was some good pressure from Southern Boone. He was able to push them back. And now down, okay, they will call him down at the 41-yard line on Hallsville's side of things. But after looking to push into Southern Boone territory, it's now a 3rd and 16. So Hallsville now looking for some of that big play magic that they've seen in the past. Braden Matheny with El Finish to his left side. He takes the snap. He drops back. He's looking over. He throws it left side. Isaac Stinson puts a move on. Can he get there? He dives. First down. Hallsville gets it. Oh, what a dive by Isaac Stinson on the left sideline. And he moves the chains after a 17-yard completion. Pushes Hallsville all the way up to the Southern Boone 42.
Great play. Perfect play drawn up there for a 3rd and long situation. And Isaac Stin with just a great dive. That's just a football play.
It was a football play nonetheless, kind of like what we saw with Logan Thomas yesterday in the Bears game. He had a pretty good dive at the goal line. So nonetheless, we're not talking NFL. We're talking high school football right now. Although for those of you who watch the NFL, lots of fun over there, especially for fantasy. Well, nonetheless, here comes Braden Matheny. He takes the snap, hands it off to El Finish, who goes up the middle, evades one tackle, and keeps pushing it all the way up to the 35-yard line. And after having 8 carries for 13 yards last game, he's already eclipsed that and only done it in 2 carries.
This run game is clicking right now for Hallsville. I think you got to stick to this if you're them. The O-line's getting great penetration through the defense right now. I think you got to keep running it. Although we have seen their passing defense work too.
Yes, we have. Well, 5 minutes to go in the first quarter, and it's a 2nd and 4 from Matheny and Hallsville. He takes the snap, hands it off to El Finish, who's got up left sideline. He's got space. He's running left sideline. Can he evade? He does get pushed out of bounds, but not until he reaches all the way to the 10-yard line for another huge pickup for Hallsville, as that puts him right at the 10 and pushes them into the red zone yet again.
If it's not broke, don't fix it. Feed the beast right now if you're Hallsville.
And El Fanish is absolutely tearing apart the Southern Boone defense right now. He's already up over 30 yards on the ground. And again, we're not even 7 minutes into the game at this point. 5 minutes and 6 seconds on the clock in the first quarter. Matheny, he looks to take the snap. He does. He's looking right side. 3 receivers over there. He throws over the middle, and that's going to be a touchdown. Zach Jure brings it in for his second touchdown of the night, and Hallsville takes the lead. It's 14-13 with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Slam dunk for Hallsville. Wide open right across the middle. Doesn't get much easier if you're Matheny. That's exactly what you want.
And, well, Zach Jure putting on a clinic tonight on the receptions game. He is the third leading receiver on this Hallsville team. He's not the 1. He's not the 2. He is that third option. But, again, this offense is just so dynamic that Hallsville is able to do that, and they're able to rely on a guy like him. Now the 2-point attempt coming out here, trying to make it a 3-point game. Matheny, he drops back. He looks far left side. Oh, a perfectly placed pass to Isaac Stinson, who gets that one in the corner. And the 2-point conversion is going to be good. It makes it 16-13. Hallsville now leads by a field goal.
Here we go. This is exactly what we wanted out of Hallsville. You keep responding back and forth. It's going to be a good one.
Oh, yes. Yes, it is. I mean, both offenses throwing haymakers at each other right now. You see it. 4 touchdowns on 4 drives from the two teams combined. And, well, we've seen some fireworks already. We've seen some fireworks on the ground from El Phoenician, from Brady Dapkus. But we've also seen it through the air from Braden Matheny, and specifically Zach Jure, who's been great on the receiving end of things. Already 3 receptions, and 2 of those for touchdowns.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it. Yeah, like you mentioned, Zach Jure isn't the 1 or the 2, but you wouldn't know it if you looked at the box score of this game so far. Easily over 100 yards and 2 scores. And like you said, we're like 7 minutes into this game.
Yeah, and plenty of game to go. I mean, right now, you just don't know who's going to win this one. And, well, Hallsville stepping back out to kick away, and they will be looking for their defense to kind of make a change on how things have been going recently. Again, 2 drives, 2 touchdowns for Southern Boone here. Last game, the defense looked pretty good. They only allowed 23 to an Osage team that has seen the run game working really well. They stuffed that run game, but they haven't been able to do quite that much. One of the things that Coach Conyers talked about was the athleticism, Southern Boone, and we are seeing that so far. The kick away now and picked up in the backfield, and a great tackle on the return there. And coming up to stop that one at the 35-yard line, I believe that was Zach Jure on the tackle.
He's everywhere tonight.
Yes, he is. I mean, he's here, he's there, he's everywhere. Zach Jure, big play Jure, as I've been calling him a few times on the broadcasts here. So it will bring up 1st and 10 for Southern Boone, as they will call him down at the 33-yard line. It's where they will place the ball for the start of the Eagles' drive. The farthest back that they've started with the drive tonight.
Yeah, first drive that's not starting in Hallsville territory.
So now Austin Evans back in the shotgun with Brady Dapkus to his right side as he motions across a little bit. Now the tight end motions across. That's Keelan Ash. The snap going right side. It's Dapkus, but he's taken down right at the line of scrimmage. A great play from Hallsville, whose defense steps up big there, and it brings up 2nd and 10.
Yeah, great play. I mean, you blew that one up in the backfield, it looked like. Dapkus still able to get back to line of scrimmage, but great play by Hallsville, not allowing him to get anything more than that.
And with the way that Brady Dapkus has been looking tonight, I mean, to get 0 yards, you're not going to see that too many times throughout the night. I mean, at the end of the night, you might only see that one more time.
Yeah, that's a rep 1 by the Hallsville defense they should be proud of.
Now Austin Evans, he's got 2 tight ends on the side of the line. He hands it off, and going left side now and tackled for just a gain of 3 yards. It's Brady Dapkus. Dapkus continuing to get the ball, but again, Hallsville really able to rush to him. Looks like they will give him 4 yards on that carry, as they'll call him down at the 37-yard line. So that is where Southern Boone will take things up on 3rd and 6. Big play of the drive coming up for Southern Boone, trying to stay alive. The snap, Austin Evans rolls out right. He's looking downfield. He's trying to evade a sack. He rolls out left now. He throws deep. Can he get there? It is caught.
Wow, what a catch by Southern Boone, who come up big with that one. And I believe that was Chase Morris on the reception there.
What an adjustment. And
Never mind, that was Keelan Ash. Keelan Ash, the 6'2 senior. Now the next snap, it's Austin Evans. He throws middle. This time it's caught again down the field at the 11-yard line. And I apologize for not being able to read you off these names. Yes, that was Keelan Ash again. The number's not really easy to tell dark on dark here. So now a pitch off right. It's Brady Dabkis who takes this one up as he's going to be taken down at, call it the 6-yard line, maybe the 5. Looks like they'll give him the 5 as it's going to bring up a 2nd and 3 for Southern Boone.
yeah, Southern Boone's now rushing to the line and doesn't even give us a chance to talk about that huge play. That was a great adjustment on the fly by Kellen Ash on that play. He's noticed his quarterback rolling out and came back across the field and put his hand up, called for the ball, and had a great catch.
Yeah, and Kellen Ash, he's been big here, but he comes off the field for this play. So now the handoff to Brady Dabkis. He goes left side. He tries to evade a tackle. Did he get the first down? It looks like he'll be called down at the 4.5-yard line, call it. Dabkis on the carry right there, but it does bring up 3rd down. So another big play here, but I've got to guess that this is 4-down territory.
I would too, Austin. I don't see them not trying to get a yard in 2 plays here inside the 5.
So Austin Evans, he is out there. On the far right side, it's Chase Morris, who has seemingly not really been used in this game, despite leading the team by almost double anyone else in receiving yards. Now rolling out right side, it's Austin Evans. The reception, well, that's the guy. It's Chase Morris who comes up big with the touchdown there. And Southern Boone, they take the lead right back. It's 16-19, the Eagles lead. Oh, you know what? Never mind. That was Kellen Ash. Again, I apologize. These numbers are extremely difficult to read, as that was Kellen Ash who comes away with the touchdown there.
I think that's about the 3rd time they ran that sort of stick concept where you have the inside receiver running an out route, and it's worked every single time for Southern Boone. If it's not broke, why fix it?
The PAT attempt coming out now is it's Tally who steps on out. The kick, it's up, and it's good. So the PAT from Ty Tally, the senior, comes up good, and it now makes it 20-16. And Southern Boone leads in what has been a firework of a game. Well, Hallsville getting ready to step back out there on the offensive side of things. They got to keep these offenses alive because right now it's been 2 drives, 2 touchdowns for Hallsville. But for Southern Boone, it's 3 drives, 3 touchdowns. So needing to keep up with that pace, Hallsville needs to step up here.
I mean, in games like these, both sides of the field are motivated to get back on the field. 'Cause if you're the defense, you're like, we want to be the unit that gets the big stop in this game, because truly one big stop in this game could be the difference, as we've seen. But the offenses go out there and go, okay, they scored. We can go score too.
Yeah, so now the offense, the return team stepping back out there for Hallsville, and the kicking team stepping back out there for Southern Boone. Deep middle, it's Dalvin Smith. Deep right, it's Abe El-Fanish. And deep left side, it's yet again Gabe Jenkins for Hallsville to return. And getting set to kick this one away. Southern Boone steps up, and Tally kicks it. It's an onside kick attempt, but a great job by the hands team from Hallsville to jump on that one, as that one was Lawson Burks who jumps on top of that one, the sophomore. Playing for the hands team there. A good job to make sure that they get the ball back and in prime field position. They're going to be starting with the ball at their own 49.
Good awareness to not be caught off guard by the onside kick.
So now Hallsville getting set back up for their 3rd drive of the game. And they're looking around there. Braden Matheny, he's back in the shotgun formation. Abe El-Fanish behind him. A little bit of motions from 2 tight ends. Here's the snap. Matheny hands it off. El-Fanish, who goes left side, tries to evade one tackle, but gets stuffed at the line. They'll call him for forward progress right at the line of scrimmage, still on their own 49.
It looked like Hallsville came out on a jumbo package. You had a lot of tight ends on the field, kind of maybe tipped the defense that you're going to run that ball, and they were ready for it.
Yes, they were. Well, Hallsville's offense trying to keep up what they've been doing the previous 2 drives. I think that's the first one that's been stopped for 0 or less than 0 yards this entire game for the Indians. And a minute 20 to go here in the first quarter. So now the snap looking right side. Colton Nichols on the reception trying to get the screen pass. He breaks through. He's up on the right side. He's trying to break his speed, but he does get tackled down, but not before bringing it all the way up to the 25-yard line. And Colton Nichols shows off his explosiveness that I was talking about earlier in the game right there. Proving me right. I like to see that one. Colton Nichols, he brings that one up, and a huge reception, 26 yards on the catch, as now Hallsville getting set up with this one in pretty prime scoring territory. Braden Matheny takes the snap. He rolls left side. He's looking down. He goes for a little bit of an under to Colton Nichols, who's now trying to push this one up. He does get a few yards, but does get tackled at called a 5-yard gain as he's down at the 21, so just outside of the red zone right now. But they're knocking on that door.
Yep. 2 great plays back-to-back, really. You're rolling out the QBs. You're making that defense move, and the O-line has been responding well to it. Both O-lines have been in this game with the rollout for the quarterback.
30 seconds to go in the first quarter in a 20-16 game. Southern Boone leads. Hallsville trying to cut into that. Braden Matheny looks right side. It's a high-pointed pass to Zach Jure, who goes up and grabs it. Not quite enough for a first down. They're going to call him, well, will they? They've got to check on this one. It looks like they're going to call him 1 yard short on the reception as he's down at the 17-yard line. So he's right there. As actually, I think they're going to take a second look at this one. They actually put the ball at the 16. I think they're going to bring the chains out to check the spotting on the ball. Never mind. That was the end of the first quarter. It looked, again, it's right on that edge, so I thought that the referees were coming out to check the spotting on that one. But no, they are still calling it the third down there, so it's going to be 3rd and 1. But at the end of the first quarter, Hallsville, they're finding themselves down 16-20. However, it's been 2 drives, 2 touchdowns, and they're driving yet again here.
Yeah, obviously inside the red zone, like we mentioned on the last Hallsville drive, this is 4-down territory. You're not kicking field goals. Field goals aren't going to win this game. Touchdowns are.
Yes, they will. And, well, Hallsville has not attempted a single kick this season through the uprights at all. No kicking. So that is not their thing to do. When they get to the red zone, they are going to go for it. So, yes, it is 4-down territory. 3rd and 1. They are in the red zone here, and this is going to be an exciting play for Hallsville, looking to get things moving along. The first down marker at the 15. They've got the ball at the 16, and I think this is going to be a lot of fun to see how Hallsville is going to respond here.
Yeah, I mean, very curious to see that. It looks like they're lining up with El Fenicia in the backfield to start this one. It's kind of figured on a 3rd and short, you might try and run it here up the middle, as it's been working all day for this Hallsville offense so far.
Yes, it has, and I just love the way that Hallsville's offense has been able to run itself.
All right, here we go. Matheny lines up in the shotgun. Finish right behind him. He gives it right to him, right up the middle for a first down. Keeps pushing along, and looks like he'll be down. He's inside the 10 to mark him about the 9-yard line. It's a nice little halfback dive up the middle. Hallsville gets now inside the 10 and the first down.
Yeah, and a 7-yard carry for El Fenicia right there, and he's just been getting 7, 8, 7. And then he had, of course, that one that was like 25 yards. But, I mean, he's been bulldozing so far tonight.
You love to see it if you're the Hallsville offense, because running the ball is absolutely huge in a game like this. Matheny drops back. He's looking left, and he's going to roll out right, but he's going to get taken down. Back near the 18-yard line, it looks like they're going to mark him. Southern Boone gets to Matheny. Looks like I want to say that was Ensley, got around Crane, dropped Matheny.
Yeah, I believe that was Ensley right there. And, again, great pressure from Southern Boone, who, I mean, they've had a few plays where they've looked good, at least on getting pressure onto Matheny. It made him look a little uncomfortable, but with Braden Matheny, it's very difficult to do that. And on the sack, actually, it was Logan Wassman, the senior linebacker.
There we go. All right, Matheny in the backfield. Drops back. He's looking right, got an out route, and he'll be met at about the 8-yard line again. They'll be about back to the original line of scrimmage, it looks like? Or
I think they're going to call forward progress
Forward
all the way up at
progress.
the 7. So a pretty nice reception there for Isaac Stinson. And now Hallsville, they're in prime scoring territory. I mean, this is going to be exciting to see here. Are they going to? Yeah, okay. They do move the chains here. I thought for a second they weren't going to call forward progress, but they do call the forward
yeah,
progress.
chain gang took a little bit there.
Yeah.
I didn't quite know it was happening, but it looked like a completed pass from up here.
Oh,
so
actually, it looks like there was a penalty.
that would make sense. Okay.
So a personal foul going to be called on Southern Boone, and now the sticks move all the way up to the 4-yard line. Ooh, that changes things a little bit. And Hallsville, well, now they're, at 4-yard line. They could run a lot here, but one of their favorite things to do has been that screen pass to Colton Nichols. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit of motion from him to try faking going across to the right side before backing out to the left side for a screen.
Matheny in the shotgun, Finish behind him. He's got trips out to his left. He drops back, and he throws across the middle, but incomplete. He was looking for Jure on another inside slant. Like you said, he kind of had that screen concept, but he didn't go toward him. He went toward Jure over the middle, which worked earlier, was wide open. That time, a little bit more covered. Wasn't able to get it in there.
Yeah, really good play by the defensive backs for Southern Boone is, Zach Jure was covered. So was Colton Nichols, though, who did try to go and do that screen pass that I was mentioning. But apparently Southern Boone, they had the same scouting report that I did. So they knew that. They knew that was what Hallsville might have done. So they had a guy on Colton Nichols, and he covered him well.
So 4th down coming up now for Hallsville, and this could be one of the bigger plays of the game.
Yeah, and a timeout called for Hallsville, their first of the half. So, you know what? I don't dislike that too much because this is a big play right here. You need to make sure that you get the best that you can on 4th and goal. I mean, this is your opportunity to score. You have to do it here, so you have to have the best play called up and ready to go. So, I don't dislike the call to call for a timeout here and make sure that you got your best. But, of course, it does have to come to fruition to be a score. Otherwise, now you're down a touchdown. Or now you're down a timeout, and it does make things a little bit more difficult.
I'll ask you, what would you try and run here if you're Hallsville? What are you looking for?
Oh,
here?
man, this is always a tough thing to do. But one of my favorite things is I think that Braden Matheny's athleticism is very underrated. I would love to see him kind of roll out of the pocket, try and make a throw on one of the sidelines. You see you're kind of pushed up on the right side. I could see him rolling out right. But actually what I want to see him try and do a little bit is roll out left because that might not be something that they're expecting him to do. Not sure that is what Hallsville will end up doing, but I wouldn't be too surprised to see him roll out left.
Here we go, 4th down, Matheny. He's looking left. He's going up to Stinson, and he does not have it. Incomplete. So Hallsville is stuffed on 4th and goal. And Southern Boone gets the defensive stop they were looking for. Went for the money ball. Stinson unable to grab it. Turnover on downs.
Oh, man, and that one was just out of reach of Isaac Stinson. I mean, Braden Matheny, he doesn't miss too many of those. On the bright side, however, Southern Boone's going to be starting way pushed back. So if there was a time to get a stop, now is the time for that stop for the Hallsville defense.
Yeah, Hallsville, hopefully, obviously, whenever you're inside the 5, you hope that you can possibly get a safety. They're going to have their hands tied if they're going to try and stop Dapkus for anything better than a no gain.
Yeah, and, we haven't seen that tonight yet, so.
Evans lines up in shotgun. Dapkus beside him in the end zone. He takes it right side, and he gets around a defender, gets toward the 10 where he is taken down.
Really good tackle by Dalvin Smith right there to kind of latch onto him and pull him down without getting a penalty right there. That's also a spot where you find a lot of penalties called on a horse collar or on a face mask. He did a great job of getting his arm around the shoulder of him to bring him down, and really good following as well because that's a very easy spot to be able to do that.
Evans in the shotgun. Dapkus next to him again. He's rolling out toward his left where he has another one of those out routes, and He takes it up toward the 20, about the 24-yard line.
Oh, yeah, and just Brady Dapkus, man. He's so good right now. You can't really stop him. There's only so much that Hallsville is able to do. They're trying their best right now. But, again, the run game is just so dynamic from this Southern Boone team. It's hard to do anything against.
You have to respect it. Even on a play action, you're thinking they're going to give it to him because he's proven he's basically an unstoppable force out there.
Yes, he is. So it'll be interesting to see what Hallsville does now.
Evans in the shotgun. Dapkus 2 to his right. Gives it to Dapkus up the middle for about a 4-yard gain, it looks like, on that. So good stop by the Hallsville defense on that run, and that'll set up about a second and medium coming up.
Yeah, usually you see 4-yard carries, and you're like, that's all right. But against a guy like Brady Dapkus, you're pretty impressed from Hallsville's defense right here. And if they can keep doing that and make Southern Boone think about throwing the ball a little more often, well, that could be something that kind of changes the tides of this game.
Evans in the backfield. He's got 2 receivers to his right, 2 to his left. Dap drops back to pass. He's looking for the deep ball. He's got it down inside about at the 20.
Wow.
Chase Morris on an inside, looked to be just a go route, and Evans to Morris. The other explosive connection in this Southern Boone offense gets about a gain of, I want to say, about 50 there.
Yeah, and, well, I just want to say Isaac Stinson had a great tackle right there. If it weren't for him coming back and trying to fight to get him down, then that was easily a touchdown.
Looks like Southern Boone's going to push the pace. They're up to the line in the backfield. Evans over the middle to Basnett, and he's going to be taken down inside the 10. So they're not wasting any time there from Southern Boone. They're keeping Hallsville on the field, keeping them gassed after that big play. And it's working. They got 1st and goal now.
And Kellen Ash just has been so dynamic this game. He's been so utilized. And, well, his size specifically shows you why. 6'2", 180 pounds. He had 15 receptions on the season entering this game. He's already got, I think, 4.
Two in his backfield, a pitch, and there's a fumble. It's on the ground, and Dapkus is going to be met in the backfield by 3 Hallsville defenders. So an offense that's been clicking, they look to be try to get a little too cute there. It looked to be a triple option. And it bites them there. Loss of about 6 or 7 there.
Oh, yeah, and that is exactly what Hallsville needed. Now, I know it wasn't Hallsville's fault that happened, and now the momentum isn't really going to change, but what it does is it gives Hallsville a little bit of a cushion to make the big defensive stop. So if they can come up and have a couple of those, 4-yard run stops, that's what they need to do right now.
Evans in the shotgun, a fake toss to an end around. And he's inside the 10 to the pylon. Touchdown, Southern Boone. I think that was Chase Morris on the end around.
Oh, man. Oh, man. This has been what a night for Southern Boone so far. 4 drives, 4 touchdowns. Chase Morris. He comes up clutch yet again. And, well, we'll have to see what Hallsville does now.
Coming into this game, Chase Morris had 4 carries for 40 yards and a touchdown. He adds about 15 more and another score there as Hallsville will extend their lead. Or, my bad, apologies. Southern Boone will extend their lead.
Yeah, 26-16 now in a 10-point game.
Looks like Southern Boone
trying to make it 2.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be going for 2 here. Shotgun, rolling out left. He throws incomplete.
Ooh.
Right off the hand. Up, and a late flag comes in on the right side.
And while Hallsville's defense was stepping off the field, looks like they're turning back around. Wondering if this is going to be called against the Indians here.
The defense not leaving the field quite yet. Neither is the Southern Boone offense. Although now it looks like they're both walking off the field, so
and
looks like no penalty is what the ref said. So incomplete on the rollout toward the left pylon over there. This game will stay at
26-16 the score now, and the penalty did come in late. It was a personal foul on Hallsville, but it was after the play, so it will be put on at the start of the kickoff here. So a little bit of an interesting wrinkle right there. Personal foul against Hallsville. And again, another penalty here. It's been a few of those this game.
Yeah, Hallsville, I'm not sure. I don't think Southern Boone has a penalty yet, but Hallsville's had a few. They've had those defensive encroachment penalties, which drive defensive coordinators crazy. I'm not sure there's anything that makes them more mad than an encroachment penalty. And then you just have the unnecessary roughness. You can't be giving away free yards. Again, you're down 2 scores now. You got to start cleaning up the little icky mistakes if you're going to try and claw back into this one.
Yeah, and that'll be interesting to check out and you know, see how Hallsville is going to react here. So they get the ball here, and they had gone really far into Southern Boone's territory. You thought maybe they were going to get a touchdown and take the lead back, but now they're down 2 scores. And that could make things a little interesting to see how they run things. Now, one of the things that we've also seen from Hallsville is the fact that their kicking team, they like to try some onside kicks here and there. So don't be too shocked if that does end up coming to fruition at some point.
A little bit of a weird kick formation. It gets behind, and the ball's still up and loose. It's back inside the 10, where it looks like Hallsville recovered it. Wow, that was a weird kickoff. So,
looks
scary kickoff.
It looked like an attempt at kind of a squib onside kick, a mix between the two from Southern Boone, who tried to get the ball back. However, Hallsville does maintain possession. They do jump on top of it. It had gotten past the first line of return team, got into the second, kind of in a no man's land, and well, it got bounced off the tip of the finger of Southern Boone, who really almost had possession of it, but Hallsville able to jump on top of it, but all the way back at the 11-yard line. So they are pushed far back, but this is where Hallsville loves to make the most of their offense.
Yep, and Matheny in the shotgun. He's 2 in the backfield. Drops back. He's looking deep. He's taking the shot to Stinson, and it's just out of his hands. So Hallsville, after giving up the touchdown, going down 2 scores, they take the deep shot to Stinson. Just out of his hands again. Kind of similar to the play on 4th and goal in the end zone. It's just a game of inches right now if you're Hallsville.
Yeah, and Isaac Stinson, that's the second time that it's just been out of his reach for a play like that. We saw it earlier in the game, you know, right outside of his. Actually, I think that's the 3rd time that we've seen that happen, where it's just outside of their reach. And while you usually see Braden Matheny connect with him a lot more often on plays like that.
See what is dialed up here by Hallsville on 2nd down. Matheny in the shotgun again. Finish to his left. They got a motion toward the right. He hands it off to Finish up the middle, where he will be met for a minimal gain, maybe only a yard or 2. And now Hallsville staring at a 3rd and long.
Yeah, and El Finish stuffed for one of the first times tonight. I mean, with the game he's been having, it's a surprise whenever they get to stop him for less than 2. But he was stopped right there, and that's a tough play to take that on. You know, a 2nd and long, you were hoping to make it a 3rd and short with the run play there. Unfortunately, that's not what happened for Hallsville.
And looks like Matheny's going to be lining up in the shotgun. 3 receivers to his left, 2 to his right. Spread formation. And they're going to need a big play here. They're going to need 9. Motion across toward the left side. 2 flags thrown.
Looks like it's going to be a false start
Yep,
call.
False start on the offense. So now a 3rd and long becomes 3rd and longer if you're Hallsville. And the penalties just keep eating at them. You can't, when you're down 2 scores, you can't just keep shooting yourself in the foot if you're Hallsville.
Well, I think at this point it's a little more scary because you could have, you know, afforded taking kind of a deep shot, which is what we've seen on 3rd and long from Hallsville before. But now you're pushed back at the 7, so you don't have as much time. You're not as willing to take the sack.
Yep. Yeah, now a sack could result in a safety. Same formation. He's got 3 to his left, 2 to his right, and motion across toward the left. Then he's dropping back, looking right, and it's out of the hands of Jure. So now Hallsville is going to be forced to punt from their own end zone.
Wow, Zach Jure, I mean, he's been having a good game. Just bounced out of his hands right there, and a tough play on one of the big plays of the game right there to try and keep the offense going. It's just unfortunate occurrences because those do happen throughout the games, but it sucks that it happens right now for Hallsville.
Drop back to punt, and he boots it away, taken at about a fair catch, and it'll be taken at about the 37-yard line. So Southern Boone will set up shop inside the Hallsville 40, looking to extend their already 2-score lead.
Yeah, and from as far back as they ended up getting that one, it still wasn't. You're hoping to push them a little further back. 30-yard punt on that one. We've seen Matheny get more airtime on his punts before. But again, good coverage, a good way to get under that ball from Southern Boone's returner.
And out here, Southern Boone out here. Austin Evans with Dapkus toward his left. 2-motion tight end out toward the right. Look, snap to Evans, and he takes it toward the right side. Didn't look like anyone on the offense was expecting that. He kind of took the snap and just stood there for a second. A little bit of a hesitation. I think it may have been a miscommunication either between QB or center, but in the end, it goes for about a 1 or 2 yard gain. So good play there by the Hallsville defense.
Yeah, Hallsville will not complain about something like that. With the way this defense, they need to step up and make a big play here, get some momentum going for them. So to stop these shorter plays for low yardage, that's an important thing to do.
Evans in the shotgun all by himself, 1 to his right, 3 to his left. Throws the screen pass, and it's going for a big gain. He's got already the first down inside the red zone, inside the 10, 5, it taken down inside the 5.
And I believe that I saw a holding call all the way back as that was Aiden Shodrowski who got pulled down trying to make a tackle. I believe that is what they're going to call.
Yep, defense is walking back, and so is the offense. So it looks like that big gainer is not going to stand for Southern Boone.
Would have been a huge play, but Hallsville, getting I'm not sure I would say bailed out right there because Aiden Shodrowski did seem like he very easily could have gotten the tackle. But it would have been a difficult tackle to make. I'm not going to say that. But giving him no chance at it, I think that is what's going to happen here. So now Southern Boone continuously pushed further back, and that momentum that they just had from that one play all of a sudden wiped out. And now Hallsville, they got a shot again to come up big on the defensive side of things. This, again, is yet another prime opportunity to show the defense and turn the tides.
Evans will be once again in the shotgun. Dapkins toward his left. He drops back. He's looking right. He scrambles backwards, gets away from one defender. He's taking a shot deep, and there is no one there, and it's just out of bounds. Just out of the range. I want to say that
it was big play Jure who was almost under that one. Yeah, and trailing back and really just tried to throw that one away once he got out of range of intentional grounding. So Austin Evans, he stepped back. He just tried to get that one away. It didn't go out of bounds as much as he would have liked. Almost toe-tapping that one with Zach Jure, which would have been huge. But nonetheless, probably going to force a punt here. So, Hallsville, they come up with the stop.
Yeah,
seemingly.
Both offense,
seemingly.
Yeah, both offenses have kind of slowed down here. I mean, we went like 5 straight possessions here with touchdowns, and now both starting to kind of hit a little bit of a roadblock, and this is big for Hallsville as Evans drops back. He steps up in the pocket. He scrambles out right using that athleticism. He throws a bomb to a wide open Weston Jennings. Touchdown Southern Boone. And they extend their lead, and that is critical error for the Hallsville defense there. That just cannot happen. It's just broken coverage at that point with the receiver that open.
I really thought that Hallsville was going to step up big time right there, and well, I would say that happens. Oh man, we can say now it's just jinx right there on that one. Yeah, I really thought Hallsville was going to step up big. It looked like it there, but unfortunately they had a defensive lapse on the deep ball coverage.
Southern Boone now will look just kick an extra point. Tack on one more. Kick is up, and it is good. So now the Southern Boone lead is up to 17 as they lead 33-16. Going back to that deep touchdown, again, we said coming into this game, it's two high explosive offenses. The team that has the better defense is going to win this game, and it's obviously been Southern Boone so far because you have the 4th and goal stop. You force them to punt from inside their territory. You get a short field. Your pushback, Hallsville has the opportunity to actually create something here, get a little bit more momentum going. That way you can force a punt there, go score. It's a one-possession game. That just seems like the kicker right there.
Yeah, well, I think the big point so far is that it's so far. It's not set in stone. It's not the fact that they've won the game yet. There's still a whole half to play. And really all that Hallsville needs to do is to probably try and end this half with the final points on the board. Now, 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go. That is something that you can work the clock down with. But, again, the big plays have been what Hallsville has done the best on. That's how they've scored a lot of their points this season, has been on, the 30-plus touchdowns. So if they can work a drive like they had their second drive of the game where they just worked it down the field, and honestly, like the last drive, their third drive of the game was pretty good. They got down to the 4-yard line before stalling out. So if they can do something like that, work the clock down, try and get the last score of the half, that'll be a way to head into halftime with their heads held high.
Yeah, and I think the worst thing you can do if you're Hallsville here is go away from the run game. It's been working all day. Just because you're down 3 scores, it doesn't mean you can get away from that now. One big run, you're right back in it. The kick is underway. Hallsville will be taken at about the 20, taken toward the left sideline where he'll be met by a handful of Southern Boone defenders, maybe out toward the 26.
Honestly, not a bad return from Dalvin Smith, although he probably could have let that one bounce into the end zone. It was pretty close to being the touchback. But then again, the touchback, it's not for certain. And he got it past where a touchback would have gotten you to. So, nonetheless, not a bad return. Dalvin Smith coming
Always
up
take a
good
net positive on the kick return. Hallsville comes back out now looking to answer after not a great drive last time, but here's opportunity for a new one. Matheny in the backfield, 2 running back to each of his side, now pitches it over toward Nichols, and he takes it up the middle for about a 9-yard gain. He's close to the first down. I think the refs are going to mark him about a yard short. But I like that play design. It's a nice little option pitch you can have there. Stretches the defense out because that's what an option is able to do. You get about a first down there.
Yeah, not a bad play at all. And like you mentioned, sticking to the run game, it has been working. And that's what we saw there, and maybe a little bit of a wrinkle to it, but a run nonetheless. And I think that is the important thing that this offense needs to keep to.
Same formation for Hallsville, 2 RBs in the backfield, receiver to his left, and they just run it up the middle, just trying to get the first down. That's exactly what they do. Moving the chains as it was.
Yeah, and Elfanish getting the carry that they needed. It was only 2 yards, but they do down the ball there, and it moves the chains. 39-yard line. So Elfanish gets the run after Colton Nichols had gotten the previous run and keeping that offense with some wrinkles in it.
Matheny dropping back. He's and he is met by 3 Southern Boone defenders. That was blown blocking by Hallsville, and he is dropped back for about a loss of 10, and that's a backbreaker.
Well, it looked
offense.
like an attempt on a screen pass right there, but it was covered up pretty quickly, trying to hit Colton Nichols, and didn't want to throw an interception there by Braden Matheny, so instead of throwing it, he ended up taking it back. Now, whether that was a good play or not, I'm not too certain, because I'm not sure that he would have been able to make that throw without it being an interception. So you'd rather have the ball than give the ball away.
Couldn't agree more. So Hallsville is sticking to this 2 backfield formation. Now he has Nichols running around toward the right side where he's pitched to it. He's looking to throw it, and he just throws it as far as he can. Jump ball incomplete. He was trying to hit Stinson on another deep ball, and he just looked like Nichols got back to the backfield and said, I'm going to throw this as far as I can. I'm going to throw it over those mountains back there.
Yeah, and, man, we've seen last year Colton Nichols, the full-time quarterback, well, not full-time. Braden Matheny got a few snaps, but this year, Braden Matheny, the full-time quarterback, Colton Nichols, that was his first throw of the season. A little bit of a surprise right there, and Isaac Stinson, he had him over the top, But again, a tough throw to make from Colton Nichols, who had pressure in his face.
Hallsville on 3rd and long. Matheny drops back. He's got Dre on the sideline. Looks to be about he got about half the yardage back, so that sets up at least a 4th and manageable. Got something back there, and it looks like their offense will stand out on the field.
Yeah, so a 4th and 6 here, and it'll be interesting. So they're going to call a timeout, stop the clock at 2:50 to go with the 4th and 6 coming up. So Hallsville, they're really going to be looking for to get this first down right here, because they need that offense to be the last one to score at the half, and especially if they turn this one over, give Southern Boone some prime field positioning. I don't know. This is going to be an interesting play right here to come up.
Probably the biggest play of the game. It could be.
Very well could be, especially, momentum being such a big thing in football. If they can turn the tides, if they can get this one play, the defense can come back out. All they have to do is kind of be that last, not let up in these last couple minutes. It does help out the defense whenever, the other offense is restricted to certain plays. So if Hallsville can get the first down here and then can keep pushing down the field, then this game could look very different, and the momentum could be going Hallsville's way heading into halftime. And I think that is why this play is so important right here.
Yeah, because you convert on 4th down here, and you go down and score, they get the ball out of halftime, you go down and score again. This is a one-possession game, and it's anyone's ball game again.
Exactly. So Hallsville, they will be set back out here. And now, one of the interesting things is that if they hit the 2-point conversion here, even if Southern Boone goes for a touchdown and then doesn't go for 2, then it remains a 2-possession game.
Here it is, 4th down. Matheny dropping back. Look right, and he's got his man for a first down. He's got Stinson, and that will extend the drive for Hallsville. Great play there. Great drawn up. Great execution. Needed it badly and got it.
A great execution indeed. Isaac Stinson to hold on to that one. He went through some contact, but he got the positioning, was able to get his hands around the ball and grasped on tight, and now they are in Southern Boone territory.
Just at the 49-yard line. That's a false start on Dre. He jumped just a little bit before the snap. Once again, Hallsville moving backwards right after a big play. You kind of saw it earlier on this drive. Get the first down, and then you're just moving backwards again.
Yeah, and penalties, they've had a couple games this season where penalties have really been a big factor. Even the Grandview game where they ended up winning, I think the final score was 42-6 in that game. Nonetheless, they had a ton of penalties throughout the game. And while they were able to get around them, the penalties were kind of killer. And we've seen that in games in the past. So they can't let that really get to them right now, and they've got to keep the offense going.
See what Matheny has here on first down. He's dropping back. He's looking toward his left, and he's looking for Stinson again. And the deep connection between these two is just not there right now, as that one falls incomplete.
And this is a really odd sight, because throughout the entire season, we've seen Braden Matheny and Isaac Stinson. They've connected so well on that deep ball. And especially last week when it seemed like Braden Matheny and Isaac Stinson were the only ones that could connect together. Now it's seemingly the opposite. Everyone else playing fantastic, but Isaac Stinson the passes just are just out of reach every single time. And I'm sure that this is going to change throughout the game. You're not going to see this all game long, or at least all season long.
Stinson is toward Matheny's left. He's in the shotgun. He's looking toward his left, and it's batted down. He was trying to hit Stinson on a little bit screen. That's batted down at the line of scrimmage by Southern Boone.
Hayden Ensley coming up big there with the swat from the defensive line. The defensive end comes around the edge and kind of just sticks his hands up there and dives for it. And he makes the important incompletion a pass defended for a defensive lineman.
So now familiar territory for Hallsville is another 3rd and long. About 3rd and 15 it should be.
Yeah, huge play coming up here again. Again, probably try and get it to be a 4th and short. A 4th and 5 is probably the attempt here from Hallsville.
Yeah, just get it to 4th and manageable. 4th and 7 is a lot easier than 4th and 15 if you try and go deep and it falls incomplete. But here's Matheny. He drops back. He's timed. He now rolls out and tries to evade a defender, but cannot. He is dropped for a sack. As Southern Boone gets through that Hallsville O-line again.
Oh, man, and some really great coverage by Southern Boone to be able to give Matheny no options, and he had time in the pocket. He had time to look down there, but just nothing open, so has to take the sack. And now Matheny going to try and punt this one away.
Obviously not what Hallsville wanted on that drive. I'm trying to get points before halftime. Now the task will just have to be stopping Southern Boone from getting anything else before halftime.
And really, the defensive line has been so good for Southern Boone as the clock trickles down, trying to get this one as low as possible with just over a minute to go.
Snap. The punt is in the air. Called for a fair catch at the 40-yard line of Southern Boone.
Yeah, and a really high punt right there, as it was only 20 yards on the 20 net yards on the punt, but nonetheless, it is not a turnover on down, so it does at least gain some yardage for Hallsville. So, not the worst thing that could have happened, but nonetheless, still, they got the defense now has 56 seconds, but 3 timeouts for Southern Boone. They could do some damage here.
Yeah, 50 seconds left has obviously been what we've seen plenty of time for any of these offenses to really get something going here. Big plays all over the place, all half from both sides of the ball. As Evans is in the shotgun, he rolls out toward his right. He's looking for his receiver, but just throws it too short. Looking for Chase Morris. Just nothing there.
Yeah, well, Abel Fanish kind of in coverage right there, playing from the linebacker position. He's trying to come over and make the play, and maybe that's the reason it was dropped so low, because the pressure was coming on to him, and nobody really open, so kind of just grounding that one without getting it into an intentional grounding call. Not a bad play from Austin Evans.
He's been great today with his legs, able to extend plays, rolling out toward his right and left. Now he's in the shotgun on second down, drops back, has great protection, rolls out, and he throws another deep ball. He's looking, and it's hauled in at the 30-yard line by Weston Jennings, and he took a hit on that play and able to hold on to the ball. That was impressive. What a catch.
I'm going to be honest, I thought that was an interception. I really did right there, but a great play from Weston Jennings to come around and get to that one and bring it in. It's not a play that you see too often.
Very impressive to be able to hold on to the ball through that hit. He took a shoulder right to the chest as that ball hit his hands. Hold on as Southern Boone will now call a timeout. Trying to just give their guys a break after that long play. Trying to see if they can get another 30 yards and maybe even tack on another touchdown here before halftime.
Yeah, so with 40 seconds to go, you got 2 timeouts. You got quite a bit to work with for Southern Boone right here. Not having used a timeout before that gives them a lot of creativity, and it will be extremely difficult for Hallsville's defense to step up to this.
It's a big play though for Hallsville. I feel like this is one of those drives here where you gotta put the stopping block down at some point. You gotta have a stop here soon. They need this one here.
Yes, they do. So far, it's been a lot of good offense from Southern Boone tonight. So really going to look back and try and get things going their way.
Southern Boone is now marching back out onto the field. Evans in the shotgun, has motion toward his right. He drops back, just back, and that one almost could have been picked off, just out of the reach of Xavier Stinson, it looked like, number 13.
Yeah, and Xavier Stinson was right there. I mean, it's right at his fingertips, and a throw that maybe could have been better from Austin Evans right there. But on a pretty run-heavy offense, you have seen him make a bunch of completions before in the air. Austin Evans, 96 for 35 on the year, 1,400 passing yards entering the game.
Evans drops back, 4 receivers to his right. He gets it over to Morris, who's able to take it inside the 20 to the 15, where he steps out just before the 10-yard line. And a big gain from Southern Boone's explosive wide receiver again. Gets a first down and inside the red zone.
Yeah, and Southern Boone really just doing a great job on offense. And they continue to, work the sidelines. They're continuing to work the plays that they want. And right now they have the creativity to just keep running whatever they need.
Two receivers to his left, and one motions over from his right toward the left side. He fakes the toss. Evans rolls out to his right to the 10 and runs out at about the 5, using his speed to hit outside. Not quite to the first down. Good stop by Hallsville, not allowing him to get to the touchdown. That'll bring up 2nd down and goal.
And Austin Evans right there shows off the athleticism and really does a good job of breaking around the edge to get that one up for 6 yards.
My apologies, that's not 2nd and goal. First down markers at about the 3. Motion over toward his left. Evans in the shotgun. 3 receivers to his left. Fake, gives it to Dapkins up the middle. Dapkiss up the middle, where he's nothing there. So that's big for Hallsville. You actually hand the ball off to Dapkiss at the goal line. You stuff him for just about nothing.
Yeah, but a big play coming up here is Hallsville will be trying to stop here. It looks like an injury timeout.
Looks like Dapkiss is down.
Never mind. It looks like a timeout going to be called for Southern Boone here as they have an injured player. As he steps up, he looks like he's all right.
I think that's Dapkiss. I think it was 23.
Yes, I believe you're right. That is Dapkus right there. So, nonetheless, a little bit of a scare right there, but it does seem like he'll be all right. They're back in the huddle and taking the timeout now. They've got to talk things over, trying to head into the half, with another score and really just put it on Hallsville right now. Not that the score will really change it too much. It's already a 3-score game right now with it being a 17-point lead. They score a touchdown and go for 1, it's still a 3-possession game. However, if they score a touchdown and go for 2, then it could be a 4-possession game. Nonetheless, it's still a game that could be made basically out of hand if they can score right here.
Yeah, I mean, Hallsville's offense has proven that they can score quickly. I mean, the first play on offense was a huge touchdown. But sometimes, if you're down too much, sometimes it's just too much to claw back into against another high-powering offense. But here's play. Evans drops back. He's running toward his left, looking to throw, and he's got it. Touchdown, Southern Boone. I can't make out who it was, but Austin Evans rolling out toward his left gets the touchdown on 3rd down, it looked like. And Southern Boone extends their lead.
Kellen Ash again for the reception on the touchdown right there. He has been fantastic tonight. Really just a reliable option all game long for him, and it's not been Chase Morris. It's been Kellen Ash.
As they run that same formation, they'll come back to kick the extra point.
It would remain a 3-score game if this PAT is attempted.
And it is up, and it is through the uprights, so still a 3-possession game here at Southern Boone High School.
However, yeah, now a 24-point game. It's 40-16 at basically the end of the first half here. And, well, make sure to stick around for the halftime report as we will be back after a couple ads as the half ends. However, still 18 seconds to go in this first half here, so make sure to stick around here. But again, yeah, Hallsville, they are not where they want to be right now. They started the game off pretty strong. They were up 16-13, but all of a sudden, 27 consecutive unanswered points from Southern Boone, and this game is quickly getting out of hand.
Yeah, just a crazy half offense. I mean, we expected offense from both of these teams. Obviously, the first quarter was great. I mean, 5 straight possessions of touchdowns. And Hallsville obviously has now hit a bit of a roadblock, but there's still time. They still have a half. You can go in, make an adjustment, come out of half, get a touchdown, get the 2-point conversion. It's a 2-possession game. All it takes then is one stop on defense. Just go do that again. Then it's a 1-possession.
And defensive stops, though, coming at a premium right now as this one is kicked away, so
the return is taken at about the 20, taken up toward the 27, 28-yard line. Not much there on the return, but a little bit of a return.
Yeah, so 14 seconds to go here. We have seen a Hail Mary completion before, though, from Hallsville to end out the first half. We saw it in the Centralia game whenever they were down big at halftime. A very similar outlook on the games, actually, and we saw the last-second touchdown Actually, it was to Zach Duray in that game as well. So don't be surprised if Hallsville is able to string something together here. They still have a timeout as well.
Thede will line up in the backfield. He's got 2 running backs with him, 2 wide receivers out toward his left, motion out toward his right. He'll hand the ball off to Finish. He will take it up for about a gain of 1 or 2.
Yeah, El Finish running the ball there as the clock trickles down. It looks like no timeout going to be called here, and that will end the first half.
So that will take us to halftime, where Southern Boone leads 40-16.
Yeah, they doing a tough first half for Hallsville as they're going to be heading into the locker rooms and looking for a change of things, but we'll break that down in a little bit. The halftime report coming up shortly here on the Show Me Sports Network. Make sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back with the halftime report after this.
The following public service announcement is brought to you by the Eddie Gaedel Society, Jefferson City Chapter 10, doing little things to make a big difference.
Want to make a big difference in your community? Be kind to others, drive safely, and put litter in its proper place.
Join us in celebrating Eddie Gaedel's historic Major League appearance as a member of the St. Louis Browns by doing something nice for someone today.
Take a walk, Eddie!
Since 2018, Han Custom Laser Engraving LLC has been specializing in all things custom, using large format, high-powered lasers with some of the most advanced technologies on the market. Anything can become a canvas. This state-of-the-art system makes quick work of custom engraving on cups, glass, tile, wood, acrylic, metal, headstones with endless possibilities. They also offer custom one-of-a-kind signs that are sure to make your design stand out. Find them on Facebook at Han Custom Laser Engraving or call 573-489-8732 to find out more. Han Custom Laser Engraving LLC, a veteran-owned business.
At Hallsville School District, our educators do more than just teach. Lives are being shaped for the future before they even enter a classroom. For students to succeed, it takes an entire district-wide team. Join Hallsville School District's team today, now offering competitive salaries and benefits for all positions. Visit hallsville.org and click on the employment link under Our District tab.
Attention Indians fans, here's your chance to help the student athletes of Hallsville by becoming a member of the Hallsville Athletic Boosters. Your gifts help provide all Hallsville athletes with a safe and positive experience while attending our school district, and also help purchase items that our sports team couldn't otherwise afford. You can join the Hallsville Athletic Boosters this season for as little as $25. Membership is open to everyone. Interested in joining them up on Facebook by searching Hallsville Athletic Boosters or email them at hallsvilleathleticboosters@gmail.com. Let's go Indians!
Last Sentinel Firearms is your federally licensed and registered Type 7 FFL manufacturer dealer in Missouri, providing quality products to all types of sports enthusiasts, law enforcement, and individuals across the nation. Orders are currently being fulfilled, offering custom-built pistols and rifles from the AR platform made right here in Missouri. Visit their website at lastsentinelfirearms.com or call them at 417-684-7202 to find out what they've got for you. Last Sentinel Firearms, you are your last line of defense.
Hi, I'm retired Army Sergeant Trent Dirks, and I want to tell you about an organization that saved and changed my life forever. Retrieving Freedom provides highly trained service dogs to veterans with disabilities and children with autism, absolutely free of charge, thanks to the generous donations and support from people just like you. Experts from Retrieving Freedom help throughout the entire process, from fostering programs through service dog placement. Retrieving Freedom gave me the skilled service dog Tracer, who has been my best friend and my lifeline. To find out more about how you can get involved, volunteer, foster, or to donate, visit their website, retrievingfreedom.org. Retrieving Freedom, changing lives through the training and placement of service dogs for veterans with disabilities and children with autism.
Creating custom, handcrafted woodworking projects has never been easier. Become a member of Sawdust Studios and enjoy 24/7 access to a woodworker's paradise. Outfit with industry-leading professional-grade tools, Sawdust Studios offers endless woodworking possibilities. Don't have woodworking experience? No problem, as Sawdust Studios offers affordable classes from a community of woodworkers, experienced designers, and master craftsmen. Youth classes are also offered for those junior woodworkers. For more information, search Sawdust Studios on Facebook or find them online at sawdust247.com. Sawdust Studios, your community woodshop.
Welcome back into the Hallsville Indians halftime show. I'm Austin Thomas, joined once again by Michael Todas here on the Show Me Sports Network. And, well, at halftime, it is not looking good for the Indians. It's 40 for Southern Boone to 16 for Hallsville. And, a tough first half indeed for Hallsville. But Southern Boone, they're definitely happy about what they've seen tonight.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not be? Started out scoring. Have they gone a drive without a touchdown? Maybe one?
I believe it is. I believe that it has been 6 drives and 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, so
for Southern Boone so far. They didn't even they even scored on the final drive of the game, which was only 50 seconds.
Yeah, a nice little rollout to get a nice little 5-yard touchdown and extend the lead. Although it's still a 3-possession game, it's not entirely out of hand. I mean, at the end of the first quarter, you'd think this game would have been a close little shootout, and it come down in the fourth quarter. But second quarter, whole different story. Tide started to flip, momentum flipped, but it's still not out of hand.
Yeah, well, we are into October football, and I think the team's realizing that now that it's October 6th. You know, we're getting close to the playoffs. October 6th. Kind of marks the early day, but you know what it also marks? It's actually my mom's birthday today, so if she's listening, happy birthday to her. But also, yeah, October 6th, I mean, we're getting close to the playoffs. Only 3 games to go in the regular season, including this one. So these teams really in the final third of the season. We talked about that in the pregame show with Coach Justin Conyers. Every team trying to look their best right now, heading into the playoffs. They're putting everything together. Now is the time to see what you have. The entire season you've been working towards improvements, and now the time is to kind of show that off. And Southern Boone, obviously, they've done a great job at doing that. I mean, they lost their first game of the year at Odessa, who is 5-1, and it was a 46-56 shootout in that game. Ever since then, they've come back with a vengeance and have looked really good. They won 49-14 against Mexico. Then they played California. They won 27-20. Then they won 44-26 against Booneville before playing an Illinois school, Quincy Notre Dame. They won 35-34. Who I can't tell you too much about that game right there. But then again, they played Eldon last week. This game was a 75-49 game. The offense absolutely exploding at Eldon, and right now they are continuing just the same. In this game, it has been a very tough game for Hallsville to slow down that offense.
Yeah, I think one thing I'd like to see them try and do a little bit better in the offense is try and slow Southern Boone defense is start dialing up a little bit of pressure, or at least try and contain the edges, because we're seeing Evans just kind of scramble and do what he wants around the outside. I mean, sometimes it's impossible to contain athleticism like that, but I just don't see really a contain. It's kind of like a straight rush that's just kind of allowing him to drop back and then run around and just mess with Hallsville's defense. I think if you can try and start containing these edges, maybe start bringing these corners up a little bit, have a spy, you might force them into making a wrong decision and throw an interception, and that changes the momentum way back right into your favor.
Yeah, and I mean this kind of stuff. It's a tough thing that's going on right now for Hallsville. Who, last week they saw their defense. It looked pretty good against Osage, but Osage, a different team, a different run team, and they had basically seen a very similar offense the previous week for Hallsville. As they had played a very similar facing offense in Eldon. They performed significantly better at Osage because they knew what to prepare for, seemingly. And the defense now heading into kind of a different outing as they're playing Southern Boone, who's got 2 of the most athletic guys that you're going to see. Austin Evans, he's great back running the ball at quarterback. Entering this game on the season, he had 43 carries for 277 yards. Not bad for a quarterback who a lot of times has to work for those yardage and gets them a lot of times on the scramble as well. If the team knows you're going to be running, then they can prepare for that better. So to see him still putting up those kind of numbers, that is very interesting. Also, on the offensive side of the ball, Brady Dapkus, who we mentioned, he has been great as well. 6.8 yards a carry entering the game. So he's continued to show why he's such a feared runner.
Yeah, I mean, we said coming into this game, if Hallsville wants to win, they're going to have to slow him down. There's not really a way I'd say you stop Dapkus. It's slow him down and force Evans and that air raid offense that they kind of have going now just beat you. Which they've had times they've stopped Dapkus, and it's kind of been like, okay, you stop this, now you're forcing them to pass, and then it seems like every time it's like, here's our opportunity, get off the field, boom, big play from Southern Boone. It's just they're missing. They have about two good plays in a row. They're just missing that third one to get them off the field, and maybe in a third and 3 and out.
Yeah. Now, taking a look at kind of the other side of the ball, Hallsville's offense looked really good the first 2 drives. The third drive didn't look too bad. They got it all the way to the 4-yard line before stalling out. Now, though, at the end of the half, they've now had 5 drives, and only the first 2 ended up being scores. The next 3 ensuing drives all ended in nothing for Hallsville, whereas it's been 6 drives and 6 touchdowns for Southern Boone. And I mean, whenever you're looking at that, your offense kind of needs to step up. Not to say that the offense has been bad, but again, they need to keep up with the pace that Southern Boone is difficult to do right now.
Yeah, I think there's 2 factors I'm kind of looking at this Hallsville offense. They started off this game, they were throwing shorter passes. They were throwing, I mean, obviously the first play of the game, it was just about a 10-yard curl route, and it went all the way for a touchdown. It was a great play. You'd love to see it. And then the next drive, it was methodical passes. They ran the ball. It was this kind of methodical, short pass, run the ball. They're running the ball very well today with El Finish. Then, like that third drive, they started going away from the run and the shorter pass, and they started taking these deep shots towards Stinson. They've probably taken 4, I think, so far, and none of them have worked. I think they'd have to go back to what they were doing in the first quarter, run these curl routes, run these out routes, and just run the ball. Have these methodical drives down the field, and trust your defense that they can go out and get a stop.
Yeah, and I think that that's going to be an important thing. But, I mean, looking at the offense, I think one of the things that I noticed the most was the fact that Isaac Stinson was not having that connection with Braden Matheny like he normally does. Matheny wasn't able to time up his routes as well as he normally does, and maybe that's a little bit because of the defensive side of things. But nonetheless, Isaac Stinson does seem to be getting open, and he can make the good catches. It's just right now it's a slight adjustment that, you know, maybe it's Matheny that needs to make, maybe it's Isaac Stinson that needs to make, but they need to get back on the same page at halftime. I think they need to have a discussion with one another, figure out what's different tonight than it has been in different nights, and get that connection back to where it was in almost every week up until now.
I mean, yeah, their first kind of miscues where this game really took a turn. It was the 4th and goal, and he threw it up in the end zone, the one-on-one ball, and it was inches away from his fingertips. He catches that, we could be looking at a totally different ball game. It's just kind of that's where this offense has been looking for. They're looking for that connection. They're going to need it in the second half if they're going to claw back down 24.
Well, one of the things I will say is that Hallsville does start the second half with the ball, so that will be an interesting storyline to watch and see if they can turn things around on there. Who's kind of been the biggest players to you that have stood out as kind of your players on the game? Let's start off with Southern Boone's defensive side of the ball. Southern Boone's defense, who's really been that guy that you've noticed the most?
It's been Hayden Ensley. He's been everywhere, I think. In the run game, that's been working with El Finish, but he's been getting to the passer. He had the batted down ball at the line of scrimmage on the screen toward the end of the second on Stinson. He's been in there for a sack. He may have even gotten another one. He's been everywhere. He's been terrorizing this Hallsville offensive line. They're going to have to start bracking him off. I don't know if double teaming is the right thing to do here. It might be. But he's been kind of a game wrecker in the second quarter. Didn't really notice him too much in the first quarter, but I don't know what flipped in the second quarter because he was a different player in that second quarter.
I would honestly say Aiden Young to me. He got a sack as well. He's been a disruptor as the nose guard for that team. He has been up the middle, being able to help stop the run, which, I mean, to be fair, it is difficult to do with this Hallsville team. And whenever they ran it kind of right up the gut, they didn't have much success. It was more when they kind of ran the outside zones that El Finish was able to break away, and that is because of what Aiden Young's been doing. On the offensive side of the ball for Hallsville, who's kind of been your MVP so far in the game? It's not much of a contest.
Yeah, it's Zach Jure, obviously. I mean, first play touchdown, took a curl route, went way up the sideline, about a 70-yard touchdown first play. Second drive, touchdown right over the middle, slant route. He's been everyone on offense, and he's even made a few plays on defense, too.
Yes, he has. Well, let's switch over to that defense. Who's kind of been your biggest player on the defensive side of things for Hallsville so far?
I think I just said it. It's Zach Duray. I mean,
wow.
he's had a few pass deflections up front. I mean, Stinson's been over there too, so kind of the wide receivers have been making kind of their presence known on defense a little bit, even though it's been a little bit shaky so far in the first half. But they've made some plays on those first and second downs. It's just been the third down defense that's been backbreakers so far.
Yeah, and I would honestly say Abe El-Fanish to me has been that guy. He has been fantastic as a linebacker. He's been a really good guy whenever they try and bring, stop the run over the middle. It's because Abe El-Fanish, he's getting the tackles. He's in there almost all the time, and he's great at following the ball. And that's something that we've seen a lot. All right, well, finally, let's talk about the offense for Southern Boone. Who's been the reason why this offense has looked so good?
Oh, I mean, there's a lot of options here, but I'm going to go with the quarterback, Austin Evans. I really liked how he's been able to extend plays in the pocket. I think that's been the biggest issue for this Hallsville defense is his ability to kind of extend these plays. I think sometimes they actually have them on lockdown on third down, but his ability to scramble outside the tackles and extend these plays toward the sideline, he's able to find these guys running with them. And his wide receivers have done a very good job of adjusting toward that. It seems like they're kind of expecting him to roll out, and they've done a very good job. They had that long, deep bomb where he was rolling toward the right and came back toward the left. And I think it was James Basnett that came over and adjusted his route, started running a post, and he was wide open. And it was like a 40-yard gain.
I would honestly go with Kellen Ash. He has been a huge player all night for Southern Boone. He's been getting wide open. He's been that security blanket for Austin Evans. Not only that, he's had 2 touchdowns on the night as well. He's been making big plays there. He's a guy that can really go up and get the ball. I mean, entering this game, he had 15 receptions for 250 yards. But, I mean, he looks like a guy that's got, at least 400 on the season with the way that he's been playing tonight. So I would say him. And so a little bit of a different picks for us on both sides of the ball. But nonetheless, that's kind of how this first half has been going. And, let's take a look at some of the scores from around the area as well, looking at the Tri-County Conference, but also within the district for Hallsville. Let's start off with Blair Oaks, who is up 41-0 on Eldon. I mean, that game has been, Blair Oaks has shown that, they have been a really good team. And, I mean, year in, year out, Blair Oaks is always a great team. So, still a 41-0 lead right now. That's a tough pill for Eldon to swallow. They'll be looking to change that at the half. Centralia, they're up 36-0 over Highland at halftime. South Shelby up 42-0 over Macon. Hannibal up 14-0 over Moberly. A lot of shutouts right there that I'm talking about. But one game that isn't a shutout is Osage against Booneville. This one we expected to be a pretty good game. Osage up 24-16 over the over Booneville right now, and it's an interesting game right there. We'll have to see how that one ends up turning out. Although Moberly not entirely out of the conversation yet, despite having 0 points right now, they're only down 2 scores. So don't be surprised if that one changes, and we'll bring more up with those scores coming back up in the post-game show. Nonetheless, that is going to do it for our halftime report. The second half is only a few minutes away, and we'll be back with more here on the Show Me Sports Network. Again, if you're tuned in online, make sure to download our app, Show Me Sports Network, on the Google Play Store or on the Apple App Store, depending on what you have. It's available on both devices so that you can listen to us anywhere and everywhere. Also, make sure to follow us on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of our broadcasts. We broadcast as many games as possible, so you can watch some video as well, see what the plays look like, while also tuning in to hear the commentating that we bring you every single game. Again, you can catch us every single Friday night with Hallsville football. Also, Southern Boone County football. You can also tune in to Blake Gazaway's coverage. He is on the main Show Me Sports Network. And if you want to hear his coverage of the game and his commentating, you can also switch over on YouTube or to the Show Me Sports Network 1 online or on the App Store. Nonetheless, that is going to do it for our halftime show. We're going to have to do a quick break here. And when we come back, we got the second half of the Hallsville Indians against the Southern Boone County Eagles here on the Show Me Sports Network.
Hello, Blake Gazaway here with the Show Me Sports Network. I've had the opportunity to have some amazing calls, including overtime touchdowns, walk-off home runs, and buzzer-beating baskets. But I've answered another call. That's to serve my community as a volunteer firefighter. Stop and think what would happen if your home or property caught fire and no one was there to put it out. Every day, volunteer firefighters not only save lives and property, but also respond to other emergencies. Nearly 2/3 of our nation's fire departments are manned by volunteer firefighters. And because of this, we simply need more volunteers to step up and answer the call. Stop by or contact your local fire department and see how you can become a volunteer firefighter today. I answered the call to serve my community. Will you?
In today's world, injury prevention is at the top of everyone's list. However, heat-related occurrences get routinely overlooked. Zealous WBGT puts that front and center. By using cutting-edge formulas and technology, Zealous WBGT streamlines and simplifies obtaining and documenting wet bulb globe temperature readings. With a simple touch of a button, you can check WBGT anywhere in the world, receiving alerts when the WBGT goes over the threshold you select. Join the stress-free way to protect student-athletes, employees, and overall operations from extreme heat by downloading the free Zealous WBGT app today. Save time, save money, save lives with Zealous WBGT.
Running out of some of your favorite Avon products and haven't seen an Avon brochure in quite some time? No need to worry. Avon Independent Sales Representative Michelle Carty can help with your Skin So Soft makeup, jewelry, fragrance, and skincare needs. Avon now carries cleaning supplies, clothing, daily essentials, and several small LG electronic items. You now have the opportunity to shop online 24/7 and have your order shipped directly to your front door by shopping with Michelle at mcarty.avonrepresentative.com or find her on Facebook by searching Avon Carty.
At the Boone County Journal, we're with you all the way. We know that you're more than just a subscriber. You're an employer, you're a parent, you're a neighbor. Most importantly, you're a community member. It's our goal to provide you with the latest news, sports, opinions, obituaries, classifieds, and more to keep you informed about your community. To find out more about the Boone County Journal or to subscribe, call 573-657-2334 or visit bocojoe.com. The Boone County Journal. We're with you all the way.
Buffs RV is your locally owned and operated RV dealership in Festus, Missouri. We've been in business since 1972, with several of our employees having over 30 years' experience each in the industry. We strive to put customer satisfaction first and foremost. Buffs RV has a well-stocked parts inventory with our main focus on our service department. Call us at 636-937-9183 or stop by and see us at 2085 US 67 in Festus. Whether you need advice, parts, or service, and everything in between, Buffs RV, where your adventure awaits.
At Centurion Cares, for more than 3 decades, their focus has been on exceeding customer expectations for contact center software solutions. Their innovative communication solutions include utility interactive voice response software that allows for smart communication features that let your utility deliver superior customer service 24/7. They also provide other streamlined services like automatic call distribution, automated customer callback, reporting, and quality assurance. To find out more about how Centurion Cares can help your business, call them at 727-421-5300 or look them up online at centurioncares.com. Centurion Cares, innovative communication solutions.
Welcome back into the Show Me Sports Network's coverage of Hallsville Indians football as they take on the Southern Boone County Eagles live. From Southern Boone, I'm Austin Thomas, joined once again by Michael Todos. And, first half didn't go the Indians' way. They find themselves down 40-16. They're going to be looking to change their tides as we get the second half started in just over a minute.
Yeah, obviously you're looking for a way better quarter than you had in the second. Obviously, it kind of got out of hand a little bit, but there's still a half of football. You get the ball out of half, go down, score, get a 2-point conversion, get a stop, and you're right back in this one if you're Hallsville.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see how they do react here. Hallsville, of course, will start with the ball. in the second half. So they're going to be looking to turn things around quickly, get that offense rolling again like they did at the start of the first half. First 2 drives ended up in touchdowns for Hallsville, but then the ensuing 3 drives all came up short for the Indians, whereas Southern Boone, they've had 6 drives, and, well, they've had 6 touchdowns as well. So, only 1 possession difference as happens in football games. But nonetheless, it's been Hallsville, they're looking to change some things here.
Yeah, and I think it starts with their run game. I think they got to go right back to Alphaniche. She's ran the ball very well so far today. It's what got their offense clicking in the first quarter and why they had two possessions and 2 touchdowns. They kind of got a little bit away from it, got more toward the deep shots with Stinson, which haven't really been working so far. I think you just got to go back to the basics, pound the ball up the middle like it was working in the first quarter, and I think then they'll find themselves back on the scoreboard soon.
Yeah, and I think another thing that we got to look at is the defense. The defense going to need to step up a little bit here. It's kind of been, take what you want whenever it's been Southern Boone who has the ball. So they're going to be looking for a different half. Finally, some time to make some adjustments on Hallsville's side of things, because a lot of the players, they play both offense and defense. Not much time to make adjustments middle of the game. So Hallsville will be working on a few different things now coming out the half. They're going to be looking to change things up, especially on the defensive side of the ball. On the offense, they're just going to try and get it working back again like they had the first 2 drives.
And Southern Boone will kick off from the 40. And we haven't seen kickoffs today. Haven't been very far. They're like 20, 25-yarder. I think Hallsville here, they can get a big return. That helps them, right? You want to get back on Southern Boone's side. They had a few in the again, it seems like the team in the first quarter was just so much different than the second quarter. They got better returns in the first quarter. They didn't in the second quarter. They had better drives in the first quarter. They didn't in the second quarter. Hopefully, this third quarter is more like the first quarter for them. The kick is away, and that goes toward the sideline. It'll go out of bounds. So right there, right when I asked for it, they might not be a return, but they'll have way better field position with the kick out of bounds penalty being enforced.
Yeah, so they'll start with the ball at the 35 here. That's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Now, of course, there has been some better field positioning before, and they could have had a good return, but they won't complain with starting the ball at the 35. A good idea to let that one roll out the sideline.
Yep, very smart football IQ to let that one keep going and not play it before it goes just out.
We'll have to see what Hallsville's offense is going to do a little bit differently. We'll have to see how things change here as they, the first 2 drives ended up in touchdowns, but it seems like Southern Boone's defense has been kind of clicking it together as more recently.
Stinson and Nichols are out toward Matheny's left. He takes the snap, hands it off to Fanish, and he takes up the right side for a big gain. And that'll be about 15 yards, and right back to the run game. He hits the outside left tackle, gets a great block, hits the big gap, and that's 15 yards on the ground to start the half.
Yeah, and I actually think he could have gotten a lot more on that one. It looked like he just tripped over himself, unfortunately for Hallsville, but he still gets big yardage on it and pushes it up to the midfield line. So now they're going to be trying to push this one into Southern Boone territory and really, getting offensive early. That's going to be a good way to kind of put the momentum back in their favor.
Matheny takes snap, hands it right back to Alphaniche, and he is going nowhere. He's met right at the line by a pack of Southern Boone defenders. So gets 15 and then gets stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. Looks like it's going to just be a no gain. That'll bring up 2nd and long.
And Weston Jennings, the linebacker, coming through for that one, helping with the run defense there. They lifted him up off the ground. Like, they had such a good hold on him. It was kind of like crowd surfing a little bit. Like, they were all lifting him up and just bringing him back. Now, of course, the forward progress still allowed him to get a slight gain of a half a yard, but not much at all.
Yeah, not much there for Hallsville. See what they have on 2nd and long. Matheny takes snap. He's looking right, throws it, and it's picked off! And that is going to go all the way for a pick 6, Southern Boone. And that is a backbreaker. Number 23.
Brady Dapkus. Oh, my.
He's everywhere.
My.
If he's not running the ball in, he's getting a pick 6. Read that perfectly. Read Matheny's eyes, jumped the curl route and takes it all the way back for about a 50-yard pick 6.
Yeah, well, Brady Dapkus, I mean, we've seen it on offense. He comes through on the defensive side. He read that ball so well. He had the positioning. He came up and it was lofted a little high from Braden Matheny, and too much. And Brady Dapk is able to completely change the outlook on this game. And now Hallsville, they really not looking good right now on the scoreboard.
Point after is up, and it is through the uprights to add another point.
Yeah, now a 47-16 lead and only a minute into the second half. Oh, man, this is it's not looking great for Hallsville right now. And an offense that scored 75 points last week is already on pace to break that this week, as they're over halfway there and, well, a fair bit onto the into the second third of that, the third quarter, I guess.
Yeah, if they're not,
Of
I
that
guess
score
they're not going to
threshold.
score touchdowns on offense. If they're going to keep scoring touchdowns on offense, they might as well just start doing it on defense too, I guess, if they're Southern Boone. But that's absolutely what you could not have afforded to do if you're Hallsville. It just didn't seem like the play was there in the first place from Matheny. It looked like when he started to throw it, there really wasn't anything open. Defensive backs had great coverage on that play. Just seemed like a forced ball trying to make a play and paid the price for it.
Man, Braden Matheny, only his 5th interception on the season right there, but a costly one indeed, as they were able to return it for 6. And, well, Hallsville was looking to make it a 2-possession game. All of a sudden, this thing, I mean, it is extremely far into the Southern Boone's hands.
Kickoff is away again. This one will not go out of bounds. This one will be returned by Hallsville and is taken up the right side of the field, where he will be brought down at the 30-yard line. That was Gabe Jenkins on the return.
Yeah, Gabe Jenkins, the freshman there. He gets a little bit of work in there. And, well, the way that this game is looking, it might be a little bit of time for some of the backups at some point tonight to get some run. Now, nonetheless, that's not to say that Hallsville is giving up right now. I don't think that they will. Still plenty of time to go around, and we have seen some crazy things in high school football before. So this is still a very difficult game to come around to.
Matheny hands it off to Alfanish. He takes it up the middle for a small gain. About 2 or 3 there on the carry. I'll bring back up second down.
Yeah, and they're going to be looking to change some things up here. Now, the run game, they can't just completely avoid it at this point. They got nice 4 yards there. They're not going to complain about that, but the way that this game needs to go, they're going to have to hit on the big plays here and there.
Matheny drives back. He's looking right. Got his man. That is, I think,
That's Jure right
that's
there.
Jure.
Again.
That'll be a first down, though. It takes it about up to the 45.
Yeah, and Zach Jure has been the go-to guy so far for Braden Matheny, the guy that he's been able to throw to the best. He's made Braden Matheny, a great quarterback, but a couple of times tonight he's missed on some of the guys that he usually uses as his big targets. But Zach Jure and Braden Matheny have seemingly been on point all night long.
Yeah, as mentioned on the halftime show and other times before, the Stinson connection is just not there tonight, but the Dre one certainly is. As Matheny takes handoff, he gives it back to Fanish. He takes it toward the left side for about a gain of 2 before he is brought down.
And El Fanish right there taking it up for, 2 yards to the outside. I thought he might have been able to get a couple more out of that one. It seemed like he had a chance to, and the way that Abe El Fanish runs, he really could have gotten that one further up. But nonetheless, I don't think, again, it's basically the same play that started off the last first down. So seems like what they're trying to go for right here is just make it a shorter second down.
Yeah, I think it's also trying to make it easier on Matheny, maybe trying to take the ball out of his hands, maybe a little bit after that pick six if he's a little bit rattled. As he takes the snap, he'll give it back to Fanish, who again runs up the middle, a little bit of an inside zone there, trying to push it right, but isn't going to get much there. About a gain of 2. Looks like they're going to give him 3, actually, so it'll be 3rd and 4 coming up for the Hallsville offense.
Yeah, and one of the things that I think that this offense is going to need to do is really going to be to use El Fanish and keep him running the ball. And despite that these haven't been breaking off for big times, El Fanish is always going to be a big part of this offense.
3rd and 4 here for Hallsville. Matheny Big drop back looking and throws. See what it is. Rule defender. And there's going to be a catch. So there is Stinson on the first down conversion. Ran a nice out route. And Matheny finally connects with his wide receiver and gets a Hallsville first down.
Yeah, and, a big play right there. I think that's going to be an important thing for them to keep doing is to run the football. They get the short yardage. They would have been willing to go for it on fourth down. But so to be able to throw that one, then you got the little bit of ability to do that.
Empty backfield, but a toss to Nichols, and he takes it toward the right side. A little bit of an end around, but that'll lose yards. That'll be about a loss of 3 on first down after the big gain to Stinson.
It seemed like what usually becomes the end around, but it ended up being a jet sweep as he kind of brought it up closer to the line of scrimmage. But it didn't really end up working around. As once he caught the ball, then he tried to bring it back, and it didn't end up working as they caught him well behind.
That now brings up a 2nd and long here for Hallsville. Matheny stepping back a little bit more in the pocket. He looks right, has a man. That will be, I think that was Nichols. Maybe that was Conyers. I can't really tell the number from up here, but either way, it was a pretty good gain. That'll bring up about a 3rd and 5.
Yeah, and I believe that was actually, I believe that was Peyton Schleter who came into the game, the junior wide receiver who steps into the game to make that catch.
Bring up a 3rd and manageable now for Hallsville. Matheny takes it. He gives it to Alphanish, who gets it close to the first down. Can't tell where the refs are marking him. It's very close to the marker, but it might just be a half yard short, which it is. So 4th down coming up for Hallsville. Looks to be 4th and inches, about half a yard here.
Yeah, and a big play incoming for the Indians. They are wanting this one on the 4th and 1. They're going to need to put together either their best run play or hope that someone can get open here.
4th and 1, Matheny in the shotgun. Gives it to Alphanish, and he gets the first down. Nice inside zone for number 30, and he will pick up the Hallsville first down.
Yes, he will. And yeah, like I said, and you need a good run play right there, and it ended up being what worked out. And the offensive line able to create a gap for him, and I think that's the important thing is the offensive line needs to keep helping him tonight. And it's been able to do that pretty well, I'd say.
Yeah, I could not agree more with you on that front. Matheny takes it on first down, gives it back to Alphanish, who takes it up the left side, cuts back up the middle. And that is Conyers who has the handoff. And he will get about a gain of 8 there. Nice gain from Conyers.
I believe that was Jack Wooden that I just saw in there. No, never mind. That was Tucker Cates, who put out a nasty block on the offensive line, who I was just saying did such a good job. No, that was Zach Wooden. That was Wooden who comes up big. Jack Wooden, the freshman offensive lineman, put out a nasty block to open up a lane.
Conyers still in the backfield, and he gets the handoff here. He will get close to the first down marker. He will get about a yard. So that'll bring up 2nd and 2 into 3rd and 1 for the Hallsville offense, now inside the red zone.
Yeah, and Kason Conyers, despite being a freshman, he has had a couple carries in meaningful competition. So seeing him in right now, maybe it's not too surprising. He is a fair part of this team, though. He's gotten a few big carries.
He's still in the game, gets the handoff up the middle, but looks to not get anything there. Met the stone wall of the Southern Boone defensive line. That'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, in a 47-20 game with 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, they're really just looking to work the best plays on offense right now. And unfortunately, Southern Boone was expecting the run right there. They brought the house down on it and was really able to trap Kason Conyers for no gain there.
So this will bring up a 4th and about 2 here for the Hallsville offense. Matheny takes it, looks left, and it's incomplete. Looked to be a pretty good play by the defensive back there, knocking the ball out of Stinson's hands. Looked like he had a shot, and the defensive back got his arm in, breaks it up. And that is a turnover on downs inside the red zone for the Hallsville offense.
And to be honest, I am surprised about that. It was a great pass by Braden Matheny right in the hands of Isaac Stinson. This time, it seemed like they knew each other and where they were going to be, but just Isaac Stinson, it's a tough catch to make whenever you've got the defender, but he had the positioning on it. It's a surprise to see him not come up with that ball. With the size of him, I mean, he's been able to make big plays. He's 6'3", 175 for a junior. I mean, he's got the tools to be able to make that catch. And while yes, it is a tough play, I'm honestly a little bit surprised that he didn't make that.
I think it's worth noting on this Hallsville offense, on those last few plays, about 3 or 4 of them, Xavier Stinson was in the game at wide receiver because Zach Duray is on the sideline. It looks like he's being attended to by a trainer on the right bench. So he was not in for those last few plays as Southern Boone hands it back off to their stud running back in Dapkus, who doesn't get much of anything there. So good stand by Hallsville, only about a gain of 1 yard.
Yeah, and Dapkus already has a few touchdowns on the night. He's going to be looking to keep this offense rolling along. And well, right now, Southern Boone, they're probably going to try and keep running up the score at this point. You know, in a 47-16 game, last week they put up 75. They're going to probably try and top that if they can.
Yeah, Dapkus came into this game with 20 touchdowns and has one on offense and defense so far, as Evans will scramble out toward the right and almost picked off there. That was an errant pass. That's what Hallsville needed. Stinson just could not make the play. That would be Xavier Stinson for Hallsville. Could not come up with it.
Oh, man, and Xavier Stinson, he was right there. It was in his hands. Now, again, it was kind of it's a tough play to make. It's kind of like playing dodgeball whenever you're right up next to the line that they're about to throw it from. And it's a tough catch to make because of how little reaction time you have. But it was like right there in his hands, and you're just hoping if there's a little bit difference, he could have made the play.
Evans, the fake drop on 3rd and long. He's going deep, but that one is intercepted. Hallsville gets the turnover they needed, and up the sideline, and it is in for a pick 6. Isaac Stinson takes it back for his own first touchdown of the game and gets Hallsville its first touchdown since the second quarter. And that is exactly what you needed. You give one, you take one if you're Hallsville.
Yeah, and the first touchdown in a long, long time for Hallsville, but I do not think they will complain about that one as, yeah, Isaac Stinson coming up clutch right there for them. Actually, it looks like they will mark him just short. No, never mind. They do call it there. It took a little while, and I saw the first down marker on the sideline, but that is for the 2-point conversion, of course. But, yeah, so a big play coming up now to try and just keep getting some points on the board for Hallsville.
Deanie in the backfield motion toward the right side. He's looking right, looking for his man, and it is good. Matheny to Xavier Stinson. So the Stinson brothers getting Hallsville back into this one. Xavier with the 2-point, Isaac with the pick 6.
Yeah, and just a great team effort right there to kind of put at least some sort of momentum into Hallsville's eyes. Now, again, this game is still very far out of hand. It's a 23-point game, but that is 3 scores. So if the Hallsville defense can get one stop, then you're looking at a whole different game, and something that you really haven't seen since the first quarter, whenever it was back-to-back drives with touchdowns. This team is now got a little bit of something to work off of, and if the defense can make one more big play like they did with the pick 6 right there, maybe not a pick 6, but just a pick in general, maybe a fumble recovery, maybe just a turnover on downs or forcing a punt, at this point, that could make all the difference because you see back-to-back really huge plays, and, well, Hallsville could get back into this thing. As I was mentioning, back when it was 47-16, we have seen crazy things happen in high school football. And not saying that it's likely, but again, don't count it out just yet.
And that was big because Hallsville struggled in the first half on 3rd and longs. It was the first and second down, they'd have great plays. They'd stop Dapkus for maybe 1 or 2 yards, force an incompletion, and then 3rd and long, they'd give up a 20-yard play, a 30-yard play, the 35-yard touchdown in broken coverage. That one on 3rd and long, they get the interception. So great to see that improvement so far, being able to stop the door on 3rd and long.
Yeah, with the game now 24-47, it'll be interesting to see if Hallsville can get back into this.
Look to be an attempt at an onside kick, but that'll go out of bounds at about the 45-yard line. It looked like maybe the 44 on Southern Boone side of the field.
So, yeah, I mean, Hallsville, like I mentioned earlier in the game, they do try and go for that onside kick. So don't be surprised if it does happen at least a time this game, especially with the amount of drives that both teams are going to get throughout the game, throughout the night. You know, it could very well happen.
So now Southern Boone will start on basically midfield. They're starting on their 49-yard line. Great field position for them as a result of the kick out of bounds penalty by Hallsville. So now Evans in the shotgun, and he once again gets Hallsville to jump on defense, but no penalty. Takes a snap in shotgun, looking right, has his man Jenkins, and he gets close to the first down. Not maybe about a yard short. Excuse me, Jennings, not Jenkins.
Yeah, and Weston Jennings right there, he's been making a little bit of appearance tonight. He only had 4 receptions on the season entering this game, but, you know, he's got, I think, 3 now on just this game.
Yeah, he might match. He's probably going to have more than that in just this game alone at this rate. Second and short coming up for Southern Boone. Evans handed bounce to Dapkus, and he's bet in the backfield. He is dropped for a loss. I can't get a number.
And that was Kason Conyers who came through, kind of a backup linebacker for Hallsville, but, you know, trying to get a little bit of a different guy in there. And Kason Conyers, the freshman, comes through, and a great tackle for him and a huge TFL of 5 yards.
So second and short now becomes about third and medium for Southern Boone on offense. Hallsville looking for their second straight stop, hopefully, on a third down play here. So Evans is in the backfield, 3 receivers to his left. He rolls left, looking to run, throws it across his body, and he's got a big gain. Inside the 20 to the 10. Chase Morris cutting back, and he is in. Touchdown, Southern Boone on another third down play. Evans rolls to his left, throws across his body, back over the middle to his star wide receiver, Chase Morris, and he takes care of the rest. About a 40-yard after catch there from the wide receiver on Southern Boone.
Really just a great play there from both Chase Morris and Austin Evans. And, I mean, I can't really believe that play right there. That was fantastic. Austin Evans, a great throw and a great read to find his man. And then Chase Morris to bring that one all the way to the house, use his speed. He was so fast on that. He was like a blur going across, getting that one into the end zone.
On that play, it didn't look like there was much there for Southern Boone as the extra point is up and it is through. Didn't look like there was much there. He was rolling out. Maybe had a guy who looked to be about just short of the first down marker, and then completely torqued his body and found Chase Morris cutting back the opposite way of the field. Typically, that's not something you want your quarterback to do. Typically, you don't want to be running left and then throwing right due to just throwing across your body isn't great for a quarterback, but worked there for Evans and Morris, and it goes all the way for 6.
Yes, it did. And like I said, just a great play from Austin Evans to find his man, and then from Chase Morris to bring it all the way to the house and score and make this thing a 54-24 game. And as I was saying earlier, the offense, it does want to keep putting up points. You know, it put up 75 last week. It's trying to score as many as it can within 2 weeks, maybe set some kind of school record.
Yeah, it looks like they've thrown a cinder block on the gas pedal because there's no sign of this bus slowing down anytime soon for the Southern Boone offense. But now Hallsville will come back out again. Got the pick 6, got the 2-point conversion, hoping to get a stop on defense there to maybe cut even more into this lead. Unfortunately, unable to. We'll see if they're able to do that on this offensive drive here. Try and get some momentum back in their way. Obviously, it's a huge deficit. Just trying to get anything they can here because, again, it's high school football. These are kids. Anything can happen. Seeing crazier stuff than about a 30-point deficit being blown. So kickoff is underway. That'll be... Is it underway? Or is it fair caught? Not entirely sure what happened. There is a flag at about the Southern Boone 40-yard line. I think they're going to re-kick this one. It may have been a false start.
Looks like, yeah,
offside
on the kicking team. So moves back from the 40 a few yards, goes back now to the 35. Now I'm not sure how much an effect this is going to have, but hey, any extra field positioning you'll take right now.
You'll take
for
5
Hallsville.
yards. You'll take it. You never know. It could be the difference here. It's been a game of inches so far for Hallsville. Maybe a help of 5 yards will be the difference here. And a good kick return. Now Southern Boone will kick it away. This one doesn't look to have a penalty. And this one will be returned. Taking it about the 30. And he hits the outside. He has a man to beat at about the 40 and gets around him, but then is brought back at about the 35-yard line. So maybe those 5 yards was a big difference.
Yeah, and Gabe Jenkins brings that one up for a big gain. Again, only a freshman, but we've been seeing the freshmen bring at least a spark to this team, this offense, even the defense. You know, they're bringing a spark because they're trying to make a spot. They're trying to show off what they got and show off their improvements that they've made throughout the season. In a game like this, I mean, why not? Why not go for it all and try and make your mark and get in real game action in the future, or more game action in the future?
Yeah, Jenkins had quite a few great returns today. Obviously, I think that one's his best, but he's been pretty good at returning the football. Matheny takes it off. He hands it off to Alfanish. He will get about to the 29-yard line, maybe the 28. Looks like the ref's at the 28-yard line. It's a good gain of about 8 there by the Hallsville running back, Abe Alfanish.
Yeah, and now it brings up a 2nd and short. You haven't seen too many of these on the night for Hallsville, but a 2nd and short is almost one of the best times to go for a deep ball if you're trying to break a big play, and I think that's just what this offense needs. So I would say go for the deep ball right here. Try and get some big play going and get right back in this.
Then he hands it right back to Alfanish, and he will power forward. Look to be about a yard, maybe 2, short of the first down. And I think it is still worth noting Zach Jure is not in the game. He looks to still be on the bench, so it looks like Kason Conyers is going to be the wide receiver taking his spot.
Peyton Schleter, that is.
Peyton Schleter,
yes,
is in number 8 in his place. There's an injury on the field. Looks to be a Southern Boone player.
Yeah, we'll have to see what this is. Hopefully he's all right here. 1 minute and 12 seconds to go here in the third quarter in a game that, well, I was saying get right back into this game earlier. I meant just kind of get things going offensively and try and get some good things to look forward to. And the game 54-24, you're not really at this point looking to win the game right now. It's, you know, I'm not saying you're trying to lose the game. What I'm just saying is you're trying to work on other things at this point in the game and try and get different guys to see different looks and see what is going to work. Maybe if not this game, in the future.
Yeah, even the scoreboard sometimes doesn't matter in positions like this. Obviously, you want to win the game, but when you're down like this, teams are looking to bring some type of victory into the next game. You might not get it on the scoreboard, but if you figure out something toward the end of these blowout games that you can bring in toward other games, that's kind of a victory in itself that can be used, hopefully, to win other games.
Yeah, and I think we'll have to see if that can happen here for Hallsville, who, well, their offense now, it's scored this game, and the first 2 drives did look pretty good. It looked like we might see something, but since then, those first 2 drives, both in the first quarter, we haven't seen Hallsville's offense be able to put up any points right now.
3rd and short, the handoff to Alfanish. He chugs forward, and he will get the first down. Gets a gain of 2, takes it inside the Southern Boone 25 to the 24, it looked like. That is where they will mark him. So Hallsville first down now for 24 yards to go toward the end zone. And Alfanish has looked great in the second half so far.
Oh, yeah, he's looked really good for him, and I expect him to still be a big part of this team.
Matheny drops back. He's looking toward the end zone, and it is just overthrown on Isaac Stinson. Didn't really give Stinson a chance there. Looked to be thrown out of bounds.
Well, it seemed a little bit like a broken play and just kind of hoping that Isaac Stinson was going to do what he thought. Isaac Stinson kind of trying to come back to the ball. The ball was thrown deeper as if it was going to go into the deep part of the end zone, but not really what Isaac Stinson was looking for right there. And that one not so much on on having a misconnection as it was on being a broken play, I feel like.
Looks to be one safety back for Southern Boone. Two receivers to Matheny's left. He hands it to Alfanish. He will take it up the middle for about a gain of 4 there to the 20. Now Hallsville is back in the red zone. Bring up a 3rd and medium.
A pretty good job by Alfanish right there to find the gaps and snake his way through in order to push that one up. And, you know, I'm not sure if they're going to get one more play off. They might here in the 3rd quarter. The clock trickles down to under 15 seconds, so we'll have to see if they try and run one last second play.
Why not? Here we go. Hallsville. Matheny in the backfield. He drops back. He's looking toward his right, going toward the end zone, and just overthrew Stinson. Just out of the back of the end zone. Looked to maybe be just overthrown. It looked like Stinson was just running a go route toward the end zone. And Matheny just threw it just a little bit out of the end zone, but Stinson really wasn't there anyway. That'll bring us to the end of the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and it looked like Isaac Stinson had a little bit of hesitation in the middle of the route. Again, maybe not on the same page on that one. As we've seen earlier in the game, that one maybe not on the same route, and it just seems like something isn't quite right with that connection. As we've seen in other games, I mean, that's been their best connection this season, you know, passing-wise and impressiveness of the throws. Now, Colton Nichols has been great in the receiving game himself, but he's been more on the him making the plays himself, using his athleticism, where with Isaac Stinson, it's been the two of them kind of working in tandem. It needs Braden Matheny in order for Isaac Stinson to get the ball, and Isaac Stinson and Braden Matheny needs Isaac Stinson in order to run the route well and to use his size well. So just not quite on the same page right there tonight. And you know, after last week, it seemed like everyone else was on the wrong page. It seems like this night it's them too, and it's just like, oh man, it's got to get right at some point. And maybe that's not tonight, but next week they will definitely need that as they play Blair Oaks.
Yeah, that'll be one of the better offenses that they're going to have to go against in Blair Oaks. They were up 41-0 at half.
Yeah, so now a 4th and 6 coming up. Braden Matheny takes the snap. He rolls out right. He's looking down. He throws it, and it's intercepted by Southern Boone. They take it back. That's Chase Morris who comes up for the Eagles. And, well, honestly, it's better than having a turnover on downs right there because he was not able to return it to the line of scrimmage. So it would have been better if he had just batted it down, but nonetheless, another interception in the books for Matheny, who really tried to force that one in. And I'm not going to say that that's a bad throw. On a 4th and 6, you need to get something. You kind of try and fit it in there, and it's just something that it's a tough throw to make, but at least it's not a turnover on downs.
It was just simple man coverage there from Southern Boone. It was, and the safety came up, which was Chase Morris. There was really nothing there anyway. It was just kind of throw it. Maybe something will happen. Obviously, nothing happened as a result. It was an interception, but there's nothing really to complain too much about there. There was nothing that Matheny really could have done.
Well, Austin Evans back out there. He hands this one off to Dabkis, who's running across on a jet sweep, and he's going to be taken down right at the line of scrimmage. So it's going to stay at 2nd and 10 as the ball is down at the 19. The score's still 54-24. Just started the final quarter of the game. Looks like an injury on the field right now, so an injury timeout will be called. Officials timeout. Neither team going to be charged with one here, but it does give the teams a time to step off to the side. It looks like it could be a cramp, some of the teammates stretching out the leg, but I don't want to guess on this, but nonetheless, we'll see what ends up happening here. Southern Boone going to catch a breath here, and Hallsville stepping over into a side huddle as well, trying to figure out what they want to do.
Yeah, I mean, Dabkis got hurt earlier. I don't know if that's him or not. Don't want to assume anything. But on that run, he didn't look like he was hurt earlier. He had a nice explosion toward the right side. Obviously, Great play by Hallsville to keep him in check. But it seems like being up a lot, we might be seeing a lot more of Brady Dapkus. Can't tell which number it is limping off. 31.
And the way he's walking, it seems like he's trying to stretch out a cramp right now. So hopefully that's what it is, and he'll be all right in a bit. But Southern Boone, nonetheless, they're getting ready to come back out on 2nd and 10. They've got 2 tight ends on the left side of the offensive line, 2 receivers out right, handing it off on the motion to Brady Dapkus, who lined up on the right side. He pushes it up left side and gets put down at the 25-yard line. So called a gain of 6 to bring up a 3rd and 4.
A follow your blockers play there by Southern Boone. Motion, have your 2 tight ends on the left side, bring your running back over, just follow them, let them clear the path for you. Makes Dapkus' life a heck of a lot easier.
It does. So with a 3rd and 4 coming up here, what's the plan for Southern Boone?
Feed the beast. I think if you're Southern Boone, I don't think there's a reason to go away from Dapkus. Although Hallsville has done a way better job keeping him in check in the second half, I think. They've got him for that drop of loss and a few that haven't really gone anywhere.
Not that they've really needed to do much, but now a passing attack as Austin Evans drops back, but he evades the sack, and now he's taking it on the scramble. He runs left side, and he's got the first down. Austin Evans pushes this one up to the 33-yard line before he goes out of bounds. And, of course, it does move the sticks, and that's another first down for Southern Boone, who keeps that offense out there and moving along.
Austin Evans wasn't sacked at all last week. And I'm kind of seeing why. It's almost impossible to get your hands on this guy. He's so fast. He's so athletic. Even if you do get your hands on him like Hallsville did there, he's going to get away from you unless you have your arms around him. Great play by the quarterback.
Well, 2 receivers right side, 2 tight ends also on the right side. Brady Dapkus in the backfield. The handoff here to Dapkus. He runs it up the middle, tries to get some extra yards, follows his blockers. Able to get about 2 yards on the carry before he's taken down at the 35 to bring up a 2nd and 8.
Seems to be a bit of a bleed the clock offense here by Southern Boone. Just run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. They're just trying to bleed the clock, it feels like.
Looks like they'll give him an extra yard there. They'll call him down at the 36-yard line. So it's 2nd and 7. And with 10 minutes to go here in the final quarter, in a 30-point game, one more touchdown from Southern Boone makes it a running clock. So Southern Boone going to try and get the score here and get out with the win. But a timeout going to be called now from Southern Boone on the 2nd and 7. A little bit of an interesting timeout. Not that they're going to need it at this point in the game, but they do want to go over and talk things. Maybe this is the last drive for the starters before they turn to the backups and try and get them working. So they want to make sure that this is the last good play from them.
Yeah, and like you mentioned earlier, you're starting to make your playoff push, right? You're trying to sharpen up your tactics to get ready for the playoffs. So like you said, if this is the last drive for the starters, even if you're up as much as Southern Boone is, you still want to do the small things right. You don't want to get away from the small things. Getting away from the small things can just only hurt you in the long run.
So on a 2nd and 7, there's a lot of creativity, isn't there?
I mean, it's been pretty okay so far, I think, on this drive. It's just been a lot of outside runs, playing Dapkus' strengths. It's just following his boys up front, and they're plowing the path for him. And they're doing a good job so far.
Well, we'll see if that stays true here as both teams break their huddles. Hallsville back out on defense, and on the offensive side of the ball, they've got 2 receivers on the left side, 2 tight ends yet again on the left side for Southern Boone, and Dapkus in the backfield. And here comes the pitch out left side. Dapkus gets it. He runs it up the left side, trying to follow his blockers. He does push up, and they're going to call him down for a first down, rumbling his way all the way up to the 44-yard line before he's taken down, and it pushes the sticks forward, brings up a 1st and 10 for Southern Boone yet again.
Yeah, I think Southern Boone's gone away from this run up the middle because that's where Hallsville's got him in the second half has been. When they've been going up the middle, the Hallsville defensive line, Jake Crane and Tyson Perigo, have done a great job of keeping him in check. It's when he starts hitting the outside, he's getting these 6, 7, 8-yard gains. Southern Boone's figured that out.
Yeah, I've seen Tyson Perigo make some big plays getting through that line. Now the snap, Austin Evans, he's got a little bit of time, but looks right for the screen pass. Hallsville trying to smother him, but he's able to evade and get a couple yards ahead, but not much right there, as he's going to be taken down for Southern Boone.
Yeah, so it looks like maybe they're not just going to run the ball. They're going to start, as I think they're done passing the ball, they go out and throw a screen.
So a 2nd and 6 coming up as the ball was down at the 47-yard line. Still on Southern Boone's side of things. And the offense has just barely been getting first down. So the clock trickling down to 8 minutes and 30 seconds to go here. Southern Boone snaps it, a high snap, and a flag going to be thrown here. Looks like maybe a false start going to be called, as that is indeed what is called. False start on Southern Boone, so it pushes the marker back to a 2nd and 11 coming up.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Austin, that might be Southern Boone's first penalty outside of the kick out of bounds earlier.
Trying to think back right now. I believe you might be right on that one. So the ball now spotted at the 42-yard line. First down marker on the opposing 46. So a 2nd and 12 incoming. Austin Evans takes the snap. He looks to throw. 3 Hallsville defenders on him in the backfield, so he throws that one away. It's incomplete and brings up a 3rd and 12. A long play coming up. And probably expecting a pass here.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. And Evans was close to still being in a potential tackle box. It was potentially close for grounding, but nothing called. So we have about a 3rd and 12.
So yes, with the 3rd and 12 now, 8 minutes and 8 seconds to go in the game, and Hallsville looking to come up with their first defensive stop outside of the pick 6. Now lining up, they've got 5 on the D-line. They bring an extra blitzer. Going deep is Austin Evans over the top. Can he make a completion? It is incomplete. The defense from Colton Nichols knocks the ball out, and it brings up a 4th and 12 and a likely punt situation for Southern Boone, the first one of the day, it seems like.
Yeah, those plays have been there all day for Southern Boone. It just seems like their 3rd down play call is like 4 verticals. You just run deep, and we're just going to throw it up there. And it's been working most of the day, but not there. Hallsville tightened up and was able to stop it.
Brady Dapkus walking off to the sideline, a little disappointed after that one. And the punt team back out here for Southern Boone. Sconce Martin, he punts this one away, and it's high, and it's going to bounce at the 35, back a little bit, and it'll stop rolling at the 29-yard line on Hallsville's side of things. And that is where they will start the drive and try to get this offense back and rolling again in a 54-24 game under 8 minutes to go. They're really just going to work on the offense and try and figure out what is going to work, because they have a big matchup coming up next week as they have their first home game of the season, as this new stadium is attempting to be ready for the game. We know the turf is ready to go. The stadium around it has been under construction for a while, so hoping to host the game as they play against Blair Oaks, who is always a perennially strong team. Braden Matheny, he looks left side after taking the snap. He throws it to Colton Nichols, who breaks it up the left sideline and takes it to the 36-yard line before going down. So now a 2nd and 3 coming up for Hallsville. They have a lot to work with. They have the ability to throw deep if they really want to, and if not, it's still a 3rd and short. So a big play coming up now for Hallsville, although what we've seen in this game has been a lot of the run play on just trying to get the first down on 2nd and short. No really shots been taken so far. Braden Matheny in the shotgun. He does hand it off, and this time Alfanish cuts it up right side. He gets first down and a little more. They're going to call him down at the 44-yard line. So a first down on the carry for Abe Alfanish, as they only have 6 yards to go to the midfield, and the offense, it does look like it's putting together some plays right now.
Yeah, and the starting Southern Boone defense is still out there. So this is still, they're going against the starters. They're still trying to get these reps in. You're trying to take something into the next game here if you're Hallsville. And It's a good start to the drive so far if that's what they're doing.
And 2 receivers to the left. Colton Nichols catches the ball. He's trying to make a move, and he does. He gets it upfield. He's trying to break through 2 defenders. And wow, what explosiveness from Colton Nichols as he pushes that one all the way up to the 34, call it the 33 on Southern Boone side of things, and the offense starting to roll along now.
Yeah, the senior turning what looked like nothing into something. When he caught that ball, it was just black shirts all around him, and he turned what I thought might only be a minimal couple-yard gain into about 20. Great catch and run.
Now a 1st and 10 coming up into Southern Boone's territory. Braden Matheny back in the shotgun. He's got Xavier Stinson lined up in the backfield, who now motions into the tight end slot. And looks like a false start going to be called here. It's Peyton Schleter, who takes off early from the wide receiver position on the right side. Schleter, the junior wide receiver, he's filling in for Zach Jure, who remains on the sideline. An interesting, a tough call right there, and it pushes them back to a 1st and 15. However, luckily still a 1st down now, so Hallsville knows what they're going to be working with for the rest of these downs. And they're looking to get the play going here, looking at the sideline and trying to figure out what to do.
And it's been all day with these penalties. It's just the 5 keep adding up and up and up.
Stack on the left side, stack on the right side. Both 2 receivers thrown right side. Xavier Stinson's got the ball. He's pushing up the right sideline, chugging along before being pushed out of bounds at looked about the 30-yard line. Call it the 29. They'll give him an extra yard on that one. Not too many extra yards from the original line to gain, but a nice 9-yard reception, and it brings up 2nd and 6.
Yeah, good little play there. You got past the line of scrimmage. Typically, when you get that false start, sometimes offenses will just want to get back to the 1st down marker on 2nd down. Then you just have 2nd and long, but good job by Hallsville. They're able to get a little bit more than that.
Now Matheny back in the shotgun. Xavier Stinson motioning from right tight end to the left side and handing off to Kason Conyers on the left side. Conyers pushing it up, trying to get the 1st down. Can he get it? Where will they mark him down at? It looks like he might have gotten it. He's right around that 1st down marker on the carry from Kason Conyers, the freshman. And looks like they might call him just short. Never mind, they will call it a 1st down for him as he gets it exactly to the 1st down marker at the 23-yard line. So a 1st and 10 coming up for Hallsville as Kason Conyers gets in with a pretty big carry for him. Now getting set back out there. 2 receivers right side, 1 on the left side, and Xavier Stinson, the tight end, rolling back, throwing it right side. Isaac Stinson's got the reception, and the connection is back there. Isaac Stinson hauls that one in at the 14-yard line, and looks like it's going to bring up a 2nd and 1 now, as Isaac Stinson is taken down just ahead of the 15. And, well, they're in the red zone. And Hallsville threatening to score. They haven't been back in the red zone on offense since that 4th and 4 that they ended up stalling out on in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, it's also been quite a while since the Hallsville offense has scored. Is their only touchdown in the second half has been a pick six.
Matheny takes the snap. He hands it off to Kason Conyers up the middle and taking it through the left side. He's got a little bit of a gap, and he's going to get a nice little 4-yard gain on that one, and it brings up another Hallsville first down. Still the game pretty far out of hand here, 54-24, but it is nice to see the offense getting back to the way that they like to play.
I will say, though, for this Hallsville offense, it doesn't really matter who the running back, whether it be Connors or Alfanish. They both look great tonight. Both running backs have been able to pick up big gains when they are in the game.
Well, Braden Matheny back out there. Kason Conyers still in the backfield. And looks like a timeout will be called here. So looks like the ref's actually talking over something, trying to figure out something. Not entirely sure what the discussion is. Maybe the spotting of the ball. Ref's just making sure everything is all good, and ref's getting set back up here, and it looks like they are ready to go with under 4 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. The clock gets back to running. Braden Matheny takes the snap. He looks right side and can't make the connection with Colton Nichols. It's a little bit low on an attempted screen pass, and that's just going to bring it up 2nd and 10 now with the ball at the 12-yard line.
Yeah, Nichols obviously had that nice catch and run on earlier in this drive. I think that's his 3rd target on his screen so far this drive. Past 2 plays, it worked quite well for Hallsville. That one, obviously, not as good as the other 2.
No, definitely not, and they're going to be looking to get some points on the board here, looking to score a touchdown, as they haven't done that on the offensive side of the ball since the first quarter. So Braden Matheny getting back out there, and Xavier Stinson lining back up at tight end. 2 receivers on the left side, 1 on the right. Cason Conyers gets the handoff, and he is stuffed. He is taken down well behind the line of scrimmage. Called a loss of 3 on the carry, as he's taken down at the 15-yard line to bring up a 3rd and long.
Just nothing there. The Southern Boone defensive line just broke right through immediately. Even before the ball was handed off, you could tell that play was going nowhere. Great play by Southern Boone. They're still trying. So this is still big for Hallsville. You're going against a defense that's still trying.
And on the left side, it's going to be Peyton Schlueter. Right side, it's Colton Nichols and Isaac Stinson. Xavier Stinson lined up in the backfield again. And here's the snap. Braden Matheny looks end zone. He goes deep right side to Isaac Stinson, and it's right out of his fingertips. Isaac Stinson had it in his hands, and he can't quite make the reception there. Would have been a toe-tipping catch. He would have had to drag the toes in order to catch that one, but cannot quite haul it in. Had to be very focused on where his feet were set, which makes it a much more difficult catch, but right through the fingertips right there. And again, the Isaac Stinson connection from Braden Matheny just unable to come to fruition right now.
That's one that Stinson just has to have. It was right there. It seemed like he maybe didn't read the ball well out of the hands. Right when Matheny threw it, he kind of had a small hesitation before making a break at the ball. I think that costed him 6 points right there. It still hit his fingertips. I mean, they say if it hits your hands, you should catch it. Not all the time. I think the fingertips are a little bit of a outlier for that rule, but I think that small hesitation he had at the top of his route right when the ball was thrown just costed him 6.
So a 4th and 13 now for Hallsville, who's going to try and get something out of this drive. We're in prime scoring territory, had the first down at the 12-yard line, and they are looking to put up points again on offense here. And it's been a tough night for them against Southern Boone, whose defense has really come up pretty clutch for them. Southern Boone's defense on the season has been all right at stopping points, but it hasn't been fantastic. They average allowing 33 points per game. Right now, Hallsville at 24, but a lot of that is because of the offense, or the defense also scored 6 points on a touchdown. Braden Matheny takes the snap on the 4th down, almost sacked. He goes deep trying to get the touchdown. Isaac Stinson running up, and 2 flags thrown into the end zone. It looks like they might call pass interference on this.
It definitely looked like some sort of PI. It looked like Stinson looked like he could have been held back. That throw was short of him. He tried to come back, and it looked like the corner just had his jersey and just dragged him backwards, preventing him from able to get to that football.
So the refs making sure they got the call right, but I believe pass interference will be called here, and that is indeed the call. Pass interference defensive on Southern Boone. So they get to redo the play here, and a big change for Hallsville, who, on that play there, it looked like it was going to be a tough turn of events. Now cuts it down to half the distance to the goal.
Ref asking for the play clock to be bumped back up to 40.
So now 4th and 6 coming up for Hallsville. Here's the snap. Braden Matheny looks right side. He's going deep to Isaac Stinson. And Stinson again right through the hands right there. He tried to create separation, almost had it. Would have been a great over-the-shoulder catch, but can't quite haul it in right there. So a turnover on downs. Southern Boone takes the ball back up 54-24 with 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go in this game.
Yeah, that and the one before that was through the fingertips. You could argue it's not an easy one. That one went right through the arms. That's one Stinson wants to have back. That's one he knows he should have had. Great ball, though, by Matheny. The past two have been pretty good. I think he has figured. It seems like they started to figure out a little more. Obviously, no results, which kind of stink if you're both of them. But it definitely looked better in the second half. It looked like they were inching closer toward finally reaching just progress toward this connection that struggled all night here.
Yeah, and we saw the completion to Isaac Stinson earlier in the drive. It looked like maybe they had something there. As here comes Southern Boone down the field again. They get a nice 11-yard carry on that one, pushing up for a first down. Now at the 20-yard line, Southern Boone really just going to work to take down the clock here. 2.5 minutes to go. They're probably just going to run the ball from here on out. Hallsville does have 2 timeouts, so technically they could get the ball back, and they very well might try and do just that. But it will take a little bit of Southern Boone offense in order to get this continuing on. So Southern Boone, they have played a fantastic game so far and really just look to continue that. So a pitch right side now, and some great athleticism here, and somehow staying up is just avoiding 4 Hallsville tackles right there, pushing his way forward to get that one all the way up to the 29-yard line, 28-yard line, call it. So it brings up a 2nd and 2 now for Southern Boone.
Yeah, so the game might be over, but these kids are still trying. That was a very impressive run right there.
Yeah, and under 2 minutes to go now. That was Logan Bishop for Southern Boone. Logan Bishop, the junior. He's listed as a wide receiver, but ended up coming out of the backfield right there for that one. Now Southern Boone getting set back up. And looks like a timeout going to be called here to slow things down. Timeout for Southern Boone to make sure that they got the right play called up. They had 2 timeouts to give. So now 1 timeout for Southern Boone. 1.5 minutes to go. And they are going to they're going to be looking to get something going here, but mostly they're just trying to run out the clock and get a couple good plays to go.
Yep, and that's about all that's left here at Southern Boone High School. Well, I don't really understand the timeout call. I mean, maybe there was just some miscommunication.
They're trying to get it to go. Whenever you're done at a restaurant, you're done eating, but you want you want to get your drink in a paper cup. So they're calling the timeout. They're trying to get one last thing to go. Right before they leave, they want one last sip, of the drink before you leave. They want one last thing. They want to see the backups perform pretty well. Hallsville still trying to end on a high note themselves here. So a lot of the starters still in on defense. You actually see Kason Conyers on the defensive line right now. Dalvin Smith still out there. You see Colton Nichols playing safety. Aiden Jodrowski put in there as well. And it looks like the ball will be now a 3rd and 2 coming up from the Southern Boone 27-yard line. First down at the 29. Southern Boone will try and get something going out here, and
I think they just need it on the last play.
Oh yes, they did. They did. I did not see the snap there. So yep, they need it. The clock is running. They'll snap the ball one more time as the clock is now under 50 seconds to go. Once that clock hits 40, they're good to take the snap and kneel the ball. And there we go. That's the final snap of the game. And Hallsville cannot come up with the win here at Southern Boone. The final score of the game, Southern Boone 54, Hallsville 24. And a very tough turnaround after Hallsville led 16-13 early on, and Southern Boone really put it on them after that.
Yeah, I mean, it was almost as about perfect as a game start for finish you could have if you're Southern Boone. I mean, the first 6 drives all resulted in touchdowns. They had the pick 6 to open up the second half. And then from there, it was just cruise control for basically there on out. Hallsville still tried to get something going in the second half. couldn't really. I mean, starting off with a pick six kind of killed a lot of maybe any sort of hope, kind of maybe, to really start getting back into this one. Although the pick six was pretty nice, though, that they had.
Yeah, well, that is going to do it for the game here. Final score again, 54 Southern Boone, 24 Hallsville. We got the post-game show coming up next. Make sure to stick around for that. We'll break down what we saw in tonight's game, but also we've got an exclusive interview with head coach Justin Conyers coming up on the post-game show. Stick around. You're listening to the Show Me Sports Network and Hallsville Indians football.
You've been listening to Hallsville Indians football on the exclusive home for Indians football, the Show Me Sports Network. Exclusive play-by-play coverage of Hallsville Indians football has been brought to you by Avon with Michelle Carty, Boone County Journal, Centurion Cares, Eddie Goodell Society, Han Custom Laser Engraving LLC, Hallsville Athletic Boosters, Last Sentinel Firearms, Retrieving Freedom, Sawdust Studios, and Zealous WBGT. The biggest and absolute best coverage in mid-Missouri continues as you're just moments away from the exclusive post-game show. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Hallsville Indians football on the Indians Radio Network.
There's no better way to celebrate a special event or show someone just how important they are to you than gifting them something handcrafted from Country with a Heart. Handmade in mid-Missouri, Country with a Heart specializes in hand-built woodworking projects for every occasion. Their design collection includes children's furniture, doll furniture, household items, holiday decor, outdoor decorations, custom projects, and everything in between. To view their full inventory of projects, visit countrywithaheart.com and find them on Facebook by joining the Country with a Heart group page.
The following public service announcement is brought to you by the Eddie Goodell Society, Jefferson City Chapter 10, doing little things to make a big difference.
Want to make a big difference in your community? Be kind to others, drive safely, and put litter in its proper place.
Join us in celebrating Eddie Goodell's historic Major League appearance as a member of the St. Louis Browns by doing something nice for someone today.
Take a walk, Eddie.
Since 2018, Han Custom Laser Engraving LLC has been specializing in all things custom, using large format, high-powered lasers with some of the most advanced technologies on the market. Anything can become a canvas. This state-of-the-art system makes quick work of custom engraving on cups, glass, tile, wood, acrylic, metal, headstones with endless possibilities. They also offer custom one-of-a-kind signs that are sure to make your design stand out. Find them on Facebook at Han Custom Laser Engraving or call 573-489-8732 to find out more. Han Custom Laser Engraving LLC, a veteran-owned business.
At Hallsville School District, our educators do more than just teach. Lives are being shaped for the future before they even enter a classroom. For students to succeed, it takes an entire district-wide team. Join Hallsville School District's team today, now offering competitive salaries and benefits for all positions. Visit hallsville.org and click on the employment link under Our District tab.
The Sports Network broadcast crew will discuss their thoughts on tonight's game as well as look ahead to the next action for the Indians. Exclusive post-game coverage of Hallsville Indians football is brought to you by Avon with Michelle Carty, Boone County Journal, Centurion Cares, Eddie Goodell Society, Han Custom Laser Engraving LLC, Hallsville Athletic Boosters, Last Sentinel Firearms, Retrieving Freedom, Sawdust Studios, and Zealous WBGT. You're listening to exclusive coverage of Hallsville Indians football on the Indians Radio Network. Now let's go live to the field of the Show Me Sports Network broadcast booth.
Well, welcome back to the Hallsville Indians on the Show Me Sports Network. I'm Austin Thomas, joined once again by Michael Todos. And, well, not the result that we were hoping for here. Hallsville Indians, the final score, 54 Southern Boone, 24 for the Hallsville Indians. And, well, the game started off pretty strong for the offense. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns, and it devolved into a little bit of a breakdown from there on out. The defense did not get a stop in the first half. 6 drives, 6 touchdowns for Southern Boone. Second half, the defense did pick it up a little bit, but it was already such a big deficit to come back from, and the offense was not able to really get anything going, and the final score resulted in the 54-24. Michael, what were your thoughts on tonight's game?
It started out exactly how we thought it would. We came in this game knowing both offenses were high-flying. They were going to score points, and that's exactly what happened. It was touchdown, 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 touchdown. We're like, is anyone going to get a stop? Well, unfortunately, it was Southern Boone that started getting the stops. And then once they got one, they just kept piling on. It wasn't just a one and then a touchdown and then more touchdowns. It was stop, 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 stop after stop. But, I mean, when you look at their offense, and I'm talking about Hallsville, they just started out like a well-oiled machine. Obviously, the first touchdown was a great one-play touchdown. Every offense dreams that they could do that every single possession. Then the second drive was methodical. They knifed their way down the field right through the defense, made it look pretty easy. And then after that, it was a struggle bus from there on out. And I think, again, I just go back to, I think they just went away from the run game. They just started taking their shots down the field, trying to match Southern Boone's strikes that they had down the field, and it just wasn't working for them.
Yeah, and it's a little bit of surprise. That has been the strength of Hallsville this season. You always see those big plays from Braden Matheny hitting his receivers, and, you know, Hallsville has the receivers to do so, but just didn't seem like tonight was the night. And I will say it didn't look like last week. Last week it seemed like everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong, but this week it was more of a slight breakdown on seemingly everything. It was like it wasn't completely, you know, terrible. It wasn't, you know, there were good things to look at on both sides of the ball. I mean, we saw a lot of good things from Zach Jure before he was taken out. We saw a lot of good things from Abe El-Phoenician. We saw the offensive line do pretty good at run blocking a few times here and there, open up some really good gaps. But overall, it was just, in general, certain things that usually Hallsville could rely on weren't going the way that they wanted.
Yeah, and obviously, and like you said, one of those is their deep shots, and Isaac Stinson, Braden Matheny, they've had this connection all year, and it just was unable to ever really get going in this game. They had plenty of shots, first and second half, and they were just out of reach. It's not like these were deep overthrows where it's like they're not even on the same page. It was they're on the same page. It's just either it was just slight overthrow or it was maybe not the greatest. Maybe he just went through his fingertips. It was just one little thing maybe it was both players. Sometimes it was the quarterback. Sometimes it was the wide receiver. But it was just so close, and it's frustrating when you're that close because it's like you can't do too much more as the players. And it's just one of those things where it's like when you go in the next game, we trust that it's just going to be better. Like there's not really too much you can do to make it work. You just got to trust yourself and the other player and be like, it's just going to work next game.
Well, I think it also just has to come with improvement over time, just running the same play over and over again. I mean, the players will get better at executing it, will get closer, and sometimes that is what you just have to rely on. You just have to rely on it going to be something that works the next time. And obviously you hate to do that. And heading into a game against Blair Oaks, who just won 55-0 over Eldon today, the final score of that game, I mean, Blair Oaks, they have been really, really good this year. So you were really hoping to step into that game with some momentum. But what you can't take away is the fact that it's their first home game. It's the first time they get to play in front of their home crowd at their home stadium. Moreover, and I think that is going to be a big thing that hypes up the players, no matter what happened in this game. And so you can look at this game and be like, all right, it wasn't great. It wasn't how you wanted it to go, and it definitely wasn't. There are a lot of things that could have gone better. But at the same time, now the focus has to shift to Blair Oaks, because Blair Oaks will not let you pay for this. If the team looks like they did tonight, with as many miscues as they had, it very easily could be a much bigger defeat. And I think that's the important thing is, despite the team not looking terrible, if it were against Blair Oaks, it could have looked that way. because Blair Oaks is a different kind of beast when it comes to football program.
Yeah, Blair Oaks will take your errors and make them 10 times worse than they probably truly were.
Yes.
So you make the mistakes this week to fix them and go in and play a way smoother, way cleaner game, fix these penalties, just have these better connections on offense with your deeper throws, because if you don't, you're going to run into a steamroll, and instead of losing by 30, it could be close to 60.
Yeah, and, at the end of the game, kind of taking a look at some of the things that did work. I mean, Zach Duray, in the first quarter, he was fantastic. He had those 2 touchdowns, but he wasn't able to keep that up throughout the entire game, and then eventually did have to leave the game. I think it was during the third quarter that he ended up leaving the game. But, I mean, the first quarter was great. Second quarter, the offense started to stall out a little bit. And just the connection between Braden Matheny and Isaac Stinson, which almost...
And Dre was all over the place. Even on defense, he was making great defensive plays. Hopefully he's all right. But, I mean, even toward the end of the game, Nichols was starting to get in toward the game and had 2 nice catch and runs on screens. He caught him like 2-3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and one of them, he got to the line of scrimmage, and there were 5 black shirts around, and I'm like, well, this isn't probably going to result in anything much, and he turned it into a 20-yard gain.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show you that they still have guys on this offense. It just seemed like in the second and third quarter, they kind of went away from the short passing game. Like in the first, you got the one to Dre. It was just a nice little curl out route, and you just took it up the sideline. Second drive, you had some of those to Stinson and Dre, where you had the slant route in the end zone wide open for a touchdown. It just seemed like they went away from that and just kind of went run, or it was like a deep shot, a run, and then maybe you went backwards because of a penalty, which obviously switches up your play call. It was just sloppy football out there on out, and it's just something that they're just going to have to fix with coaching and just a better week of practice.
Now, one of the things that I will say is on the defensive side of the ball, the first half obviously did not go the Indians' way. But the second half, they only allowed 7 defensive points throughout the entirety of that half. Now, I guess you could say 8 if you include the PAT that they kicked at the end of the pick 6. But I mean, overall, I don't think you're going to complain about allowing just 1 touchdown after allowing 6 in the first half.
Yeah, it's definitely an improvement, and that's something that they can build toward next game against Blair Oaks. I don't think many football teams are going to win a game where you give up 6 straight scoring drives, any level. So it's kind of a bummer that they started out so slow. You'd like to have gotten 1, maybe 2 of those 3rd and longs that somehow Southern Boone just had a guy wide open. I mean, the one that they had on that 40-yard touchdown drive, that was a backbreaker. That's just something that they can't let happen, move on to next week. And it stinks that it had to happen, but sometimes you got to go through these growing pains to learn and then fix it, and then it never happens again.
Yeah, well, real quick, on some of the other scores from around the area, Osage ended up beating Booneville 31-16. That's the final score over there. Centralia defeated Highland 43-0. Again, that's the final score from that game. So 2 pretty big scores right there. Moberly ended up losing 8-28 against Hannibal. So an interesting turnaround in those kind of events right there. And some games that, we saw at halftime and we were interested to see what ended up happening. And those were all the final scores that I think are important to mention as of right now. But any last things to add before we head to a quick break here?
I don't think the scoreboard says it was a 30-point loss, but I think this game truly could have been closer. It was just the little things, the penalties, the mental mistakes on offense, small little mental mistakes. This game could have been a lot closer. I mean, that first real miscue between Stinson and Matheny on 4th and goal, that basically set the tone the rest of the game. That was the first defensive stop by either team, and then from there on out, they just looked like it was a different ball game. That becomes a touchdown, you're looking at possibly an entirely different ball game where they just keep going back and forth and back and forth. That could have killed confidence and whatnot. So I think it's just you got to fix the little stuff in practice this week, fix the penalties. That'll easily help you have a way better chance next week against Blair Oaks.
Well, we'll have to see that happens. Well, we're going to head to a quick break here, and when we come back, we've got the exclusive interview with head coach Justin Conyers here on the Hallsville Indians postgame show.
Attention Indians fans, here's your chance to help the student athletes of Hallsville by becoming a member of the Hallsville Athletic Boosters. Your gifts help provide all Hallsville athletes with a safe and positive experience while attending our school district, and also help purchase items that our sports team couldn't otherwise afford. You can join the Hallsville Athletic Boosters this season for as little as $25. Membership is open to everyone. Interested in joining? Look them up on Facebook by searching Hallsville Athletic Boosters or email them at hallsvilleathleticboosters@gmail.com. Let's go Indians!
Last Sentinel Firearms is your federally licensed and registered Type 7 FFL manufacturer dealer in Missouri, providing quality products to all types of sports enthusiasts, law enforcement, and individuals across the nation. Orders are currently being fulfilled, offering custom-built pistols and rifles from the AR platform made right here in Missouri. Visit their website at lastsentinelfirearms.com or call them at 417-684-7202 to find out what they've got for you. Last Sentinel Firearms, you are your last line of defense.
Hi, I'm retired Army Sergeant Trent Dirks, and I want to tell you about an organization that saved and changed my life forever. Retrieving Freedom provides highly trained service dogs to veterans with disabilities and children with autism, absolutely free of charge, thanks to the generous donations and support from people just like you. Experts from Retrieving Freedom help throughout the entire process, from fostering programs through service dog placement. Retrieving Freedom gave me the skilled service dog Tracer, who has been my best friend and my lifeline. To find out more about how you can get involved, volunteer, foster, or to donate, visit their website, retrievingfreedom.org. Retrieving Freedom, changing lives through the training and placement of service dogs for veterans with disabilities and children with autism.
Creating custom, handcrafted woodworking projects has never been easier. Become a member of Sawdust Studios and enjoy 24/7 access to a woodworker's paradise. Outfit with industry-leading professional-grade tools, Sawdust Studios offers endless woodworking possibilities. Don't have woodworking experience? No problem, as Sawdust Studios offers affordable classes from a community of woodworkers, experienced designers, and master craftsmen. Youth classes are also offered for those junior woodworkers. For more information, search Sawdust Studios on Facebook or find them online at sawdust247.com. Sawdust Studios, your community woodshop.
Hello, Blake Gazaway here with the Show Me Sports Network. I've had the opportunity to have some amazing calls, including overtime touchdowns, walk-off home runs, and buzzer-beating baskets. But I've answered another call. That's to serve my community as a volunteer firefighter. Stop and think what would happen if your home or property caught fire and no one was there to put it out. Every day, volunteer firefighters not only save lives and property, but also respond to other emergencies. Nearly 2/3 of our nation's fire departments are manned by volunteer firefighters. And because of this, we simply need more volunteers to step up and answer the call. Stop by or contact your local fire department and see how you can become a volunteer firefighter today. I answered the call to serve my community. Will you?
In today's world, injury prevention is at the top of everyone's list. However, heat-related occurrences get routinely overlooked. Zealous WBGT puts that front and center. By using cutting-edge formulas and technology, Zealous WBGT streamlines and simplifies obtaining and documenting wet bulb globe temperature readings. With a simple touch of a button, you can check WBGT anywhere in the world, receiving alerts when the WBGT goes over the threshold you select. Join the stress-free way to protect student-athletes, employees, and overall operations from extreme heat by downloading the free Zealous WBGT app today. Save time, save money, save lives with Zealous WBGT.
And welcome back into the Hallsville Indians post-game show. I'm Austin Thomas, joined by Michael Todos, and of course, head coach Justin Conyers here with the post-game interview. Now, an unfortunate turn of events in that game. You know, heading into last game, the defense seemed to be turning a corner. 23 points allowed last game. This game, first half, not so strong, but the second half did pick it up a little bit. Were there some adjustments made at halftime?
You know, the big thing we talked about is not blowing coverages, number one. We try to simulate a scramble drill. Thought quarterback Austin Evans did a really good job on film of extending plays with both his feet and his arm. And so that was something we tried to simulate with our scout wide receivers. And it just doesn't translate over to Friday nights, with the guys they have running those plays. And so too many blown coverages in the first half, and just allowing the big play over top. And that's something we talked about, and just said make sure that if we're going to let them score, we're going to make them have to earn it. We're not going to give up the big play over top. And I thought we did too much of that early on, and so I think we did a better job of that in the second half.
Now, one of the players who, we talked about in the pregame show, Brady Dapkus, he is just so electric on the ground. What made him so difficult to take down tonight?
Just poor angles and bad tackling on our part. Honestly, I mean, there's no excuses. That's one thing we've been trying to work on. Every week we've implemented tackle circuits. Once and twice a week for our guys, and you saw it tonight. It was not a good display of tackling, not team tackling, not individual tackling. It's like we're the team right now of the almost. We're almost there. We almost make the play. We're in the backfield, and then we drop our head and we try to reach out and arm tackle. We miss. And so I don't know what we do to get better at tackling other than tackle, and that's what we've been doing. So we have to continue to get better. I mean, that's what I told our guys is we have to go back to the drawing board. We have to practice better. We have to play better defense. So we have to play better offense because right now, I'm sure we'll talk about it here in a second, but we're not doing a very good job of protecting our quarterback up front.
Well, before we get into the quarterback protection, you were talking about the team of almosts, and on the offensive side as well. I felt like to Isaac Stinson tonight, the ball was almost in his hands every single play, and it was just right there. What was up with that Braden Matheny to Isaac Stinson connection tonight?
Yeah, I just felt like it was off again. 2 weeks of not completing the throws that we need to complete, obviously, and I think a lot of it is early on when that pressure starts to get to you. No excuses here, but it starts to rattle you a little bit, and your eyes start going off of your progressions of looking where you're supposed to look in your reads, and you start focusing on that pass rush a little bit, and it rushes throws. It makes you throw the ball short. It makes you throw the ball long. You're too worried about getting sacked, and so I think that early on when they started bringing those 6-man, 7-man pressures sometimes, and it got to him. Now all of a sudden he's trying to rush things and he's throwing the ball just out of the reach of Isaac. And I felt like some really good play calls to try to get him the ball. And the biggest miss was when we were down here on that 4th and goal, and that was the change of the game. I mean, we could have answered, we could have went back up again, and instead it was the turn of events of the downward spiral for us on both sides of the football.
Yeah, I mean, you've talked about momentum being a key thing over and over again. One of the plays that you ended up running was Colton Nichols did end up throwing the ball on that one wrinkle that you had kind of mentioned. And, going deep right there, that not being a completion right there, how did that bring down the effect of the team? Because a big play like that, it can bring the momentum. It can completely change the way that the team goes, and it just not quite there. Did that also affect that?
Just team of the almost. Once again, I mean, it's been the last 2 weeks kind of our story of just almost being there, and we called the pass protection the wrong direction. That's the almost thing, not being in the right call, and so we call it the wrong way, and he gets rushed on his throw. And even so, they're in great coverage. Brady Dapkus, once again, turns around and plays corner. He had Isaac locked up pretty good. I thought Isaac actually did a really good job of playing defensive back as a wide receiver there to knock the interception away. But, if Colton has just a one more second to set his feet and really launch that ball, potentially it's a big play for us, and it's not where I wanted to call it on the field, but it felt like the right time because we needed something to kind of uplift us a little bit prior to halftime, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, and, entering out, out of halftime, the offense, the first drive, it seemed like the offense was catching some legs, and then the pick six right there, but then the defense goes and gets a pick six right back. What was the kind of the emotions on the sideline during
that? It was
big.
The thing is in these games where it starts to get out of hand a little bit and it's 3-4 scores, you don't want to see any quit in your guys. And that's what we continue to see the last 2 weeks is there's no quit in us. It's just we have to be better. And it starts with all of us. It starts with the staff. It starts with everybody of just the accountability piece for each and every one of us, But that piece what I love to see was our guys went out and made a play. Even whenever Gabe Jenkins had the big return, freshman over there. I mean, we uplifted him. The sideline was hype. I mean, the game's out of reach at that point, but those are things that you need to see moving forward because you need to see what type of kids are going to continue to fight. And our guys do continue to fight, and that's something that I really love about this team.
And then another question has to do with Zach Giray. He started off the game with the first 2 drives, both touchdowns on there, and then he ended up coming out of the game later in the game. Was that an injury? Or?
Yeah, it's an injury right now. We're kind of unsure. We just want to make sure. They said potential fracture to the non-weight-bearing bone in his leg up high, right below the knee, kind of in the high calf area on the outside. So tomorrow we'll get an X-ray on him and kind of see where he's at. But he was wanting to get back in that game bad. He's a competitor, and I hugged him up and just said, hey, man, listen, if this was a 7-point ball game, they told you could go, that's a little bit different. But right now, when it's a 3-score ball game, I'm worried about his well-being, and I don't want to put a kid out there and potentially get him hurt worse. Obviously, whenever the game, it's not, I don't want to say it was out of reach, but it was at a point where it wasn't going our way momentum-wise, and I don't want him to do something to where it further injures him for his career.
And Peyton Schlueter ended up coming in and taking over that spot. How would you say he did?
I thought he did really well. I mean, he had a nice catch, nice little move over there on our side. Once again, those are things that when guys are called upon, you want to make them see and make them make positive plays. And so he did a really good job for us on both sides of the football tonight. He had a couple things on the defensive side we got to get better at, but overall it's one of those nights where you got to take a deep breath, and you got to go back to the drawing board with your guys, and we have to practice well because here's the deal, man. Blair Oaks is coming to town next week for our potential home opener here, and so we have to make sure that, we're ready to play.
So I think one category that you guys trailed in the game or were down in the game was penalties. I felt like it was mainly on the offensive side of the ball. Like, you'd have a few good plays, you get a first down, false start. It was just like a 2-step forward, 1 step backward.
Yep.
What's the game plan to fix that for?
Well, it's something that we focused on all year long is making sure that we're not killing ourselves with stupid penalties. And they're all like silly false starts, from the wide receiver position. Like, where are we going? I don't understand. You can't answer those questions. It's hard. It's a hard question to answer, I should say, because I don't know what goes through their minds out there. Their eyes should be on the ball. Obviously, we're on a clap cadence, so they're listening for the clap. But when you move prior to anything, that's rough. It's tough to get over, especially when it's your veteran guys. It's not like a young kid's in there with nerves or anything. It's our veteran guys, and then we'll get our center will move the ball sometimes, and we'll get a snap infraction. I mean, it's something that's just like continued to happen for us here in the past couple weeks, especially. The thing I always look at is, they're not as glaring, I guess would be the word, when you get a dub. When you get a loss like you do tonight, those things are very glaring. And you're exactly right. It's something that has to be fixed. And once again, we'll address it on film tomorrow morning, and hopefully we can just become better from it just through experience.
All right. Well, any last thoughts to add real quick?
I thought I told you earlier in the pregame interview that the environment was going to be electric. They got a beautiful new field here, and the environment was awesome tonight to play in. Just sorry to our fans that the last 2 weeks have not been the best to watch football for the Hallsville Indians. So I promise you this, we're going to try to get better. We will work to get better, and we'll continue to fight. Like I said, our guys don't have any give up in them, and that's something that you love to see as a coach.
Well, big game coming up, and of course the first home game as well planned for next Friday against Blair Oaks. Huge game coming up. Any quick thoughts on that game now?
Once again, the thing that you look at for them is you think about, with arguably the best quarterback in Missouri State history graduating, you think maybe they might lose a little step. But, I mean, I haven't dug into the film, but when you look at the scores, week in and week out, they've continued just to thrive. And defensively, they have 10 starters that return from that state championship team. So they're going to be prepared. They always are. And they're going to be tough, and that's what I told our kids tonight is we've had a tough time blocking in the run game and in protection the past 2 weeks against these teams, and it's going to be even harder this week. So for us, a lot of work to do this week to make sure that we can come out and compete.
All right. Well, once again, thank you so much for your time here.
Thank you.
And, we'll talk to you for the pregame interview next week, again, here on the Show Me Sports Network. Again, we're here with every Hallsville Indians football game every week. In case you were listening online, make sure to download our app, Show Me Sports Network, on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Also, check us out on YouTube, Show Me Sports Network. Hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any of our broadcasts all year long. We're broadcasting all of the Hallsville Indians football games. Also, quite a bit of other Hallsville sports coverage in Southern Boone, in case you want to check that out as well. But that is going to do it for us tonight from Southern Boone. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and we hope that you have a great rest of your night, and we'll talk to you next week.